The 2-5 Arizona Cardinals taking on the 1-7 Miami Dolphins. Hello, everyone. Ron Pitts along with Tim Ryan. And Tim, the hurricane season is winding down here in Florida, but still very rough waters for the Miami Dolphins. Dave Wanstead, the talk, he may be fired after this game. The offense still has not recovered after the whole Ricky Williams incident. In fact, Wanstead called the offense fragile, and I don't think a unit shows that more than the defense.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good indicator Monday night. If you saw that defense against the Jets just get handled in the running game, especially up front with the defensive line and linebackers. And I think it's a must today that they play well in those areas. And it's Jason Taylor and it's Zach Thomas. And you know, when times are like these and the adversity hits and the chips are down, you need your stars to play well, not only to make plays, but to raise the level of play around them. And shutting down the run today is the big key for this Miami Dolphin defense. They got to get it done in the front seven.
You look at Dennis Green's Arizona Cardinals. They come in here 2-5. They took a step backwards with the loss to Buffalo last week. They've lost 17 games on the road. That bothers a lot of the guys, and it should. And the big culprits last week for them, special teams and penalties.
Well, and I'll agree with that. The special teams were brutal. 204 return yards against these guys. Penalties were everywhere, but this is a better football team than that, and I'll tell you why. I think they're pretty good up front on the defensive line, and you've got Darnell Dockett, who has come in as a rookie and really dominated. Bertrand Barry, who they got over from Denver, Ronnie, has reached all the expectations, and I'm telling you, the time is coming when this defensive line is going to dominate a football game. Today could be the day.
We'll look for it, Tim Ryan. Hey, there's still time to look for this. Select your singular fantasy football team. Text message the word play to 63504 on your singular wireless phone, or log on to foxsports.com. Ronald McKinnon, the tackling machine. Hey, he's ready to play.
Here we go. You know what we're talking about right here, Ray? Huh? Give me one. Give me one, Ray. Let's go. Got a roll call. Let's go, baby. 60 minutes, man. Attitude on 3. 1, 2, 3, attitude.
Ron Pitts, Tim Ryan back here in Miami, Florida. We are set for kickoff. Arizona has won the toss, but while we were away, the two teams got after it. And the talk all week from the Arizona Cardinals is that the Miami Dolphins have no respect for them.
Well, I think you got to earn respect in the National Football League, and Arizona has it, and they feel like that maybe they're deserving of a little bit now. I think that's just frustrations, Ron. I mean, you got a 1-7 team and a 2-5 football team. These guys want to get it on.
Bill Gramatica brought in this week because of injuries to Alindo Mari and Matt Bryant. He is kicking off today and will be kicking field goals for the Dolphins. Larry Kroom out past the 20 to about the 25. Ball is loose. Fumble on the opening kickoff. Larry Nimmers, our referee, we're waiting for a signal. It is Dolphin football. And we just mentioned in the open, Tim Ryan, special teams has been a problem for the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, they were brutal last week, and it looks like Derek Pope is the guy that is in on this one. He and Eddie Moore, 56 and 58. And watch Kroom, it's just a wedge up the middle. There's the hit.
Oh,
looks like
that.
Yeah, it looked like Eddie Moore came in there and finished it up and knocked that football loose. That's exactly how Miami wanted to start this football game. Start fast, get this crowd into it. No question. And Eddie Moore's starting today at linebacker for Junior Seau. That a way to start the game out on the right foot. Pow.
Tony Bua, the initial hit there that caused the fumble. 1st and 10, going toward the end zone. Not the way intended for Chris Chambers. Ronaldo Hill on the coverage. Jay Fiedler, he's been struggling, but his offensive line and protection has been struggling as well. But you see his last 8 starts against the NFC, not too bad.
Got to take advantage of this situation now. Special teams gives you the ball right down by the red zone. Time to capitalize.
Cardinals bring up the 8-man front. That's Adrian Wilson standing on the throw outside to Chambers. Chambers, he's close to the first down. And the rest of the offense for the Miami Dolphins, they'll go with McIntosh and St. Clair outside. They've had some problems up the middle. That's where they may be tested with a very solid Cardinal defensive line. They run the play and get the first down. That's all Jay Fiedler. Sammy Morris will be starting at the halfback position. A fullback starting at halfback. Defensively for the Arizona Cardinals, very good inside, like we've talked about all year, Tim Ryan. Darnell Dockett, just a rookie, comes back home where he went to school here at Florida State. Outside, the linebackers very good, especially Ronald McKinnon and Adrian Wilson having a Pro Bowl year. Sammy Morris bangs it inside. And the Arizona Cardinals, Tim, trying to avoid an 18th consecutive road loss.
Yeah, and it becomes a situation after a while where you just got to forget about it, I think. I mean, just put it behind you, and these guys don't even want to talk about it. Yeah, it's been 17 in a row, and people won't start talking about it until you go and get a W. But for a lot of these guys who are brand new on this football team, it's about this season, and it's really about today and just trying to stop the bleeding.
Miami is yet to score in its opening possession this year. 2nd and 7. They fake the end around. They give to Morris. He's looking for the outside. Nice tackle and driven out of bounds. Ifeanyi Ohalete comes up from the free safety position. A pickup of 2 or 3.
Well, he puts a good move, does Sammy Morris, on McKinnon, because watch Ronald come this way, and he'll bounce it outside, but it's Ifeanyi Ohalete that's going to run the alley. See, that's what happens when you get guys running sideways, and that's all McKinnon had to do there with Sammy Morris. Force him to the sideline. It allowed that pursuit to catch up, and Ohalete ran it down.
See the red zone offense this season for the Miami Dolphins. Not enough touchdowns in there. 3rd down and 5. Morris along the backfield. The dump off to Morris. He's got to shoot 2. He won't do it. Great open field tackle by Ronaldo Hill, who's subbing for Dwayne Starks, who's battling an injured shoulder.
Well, and you can tell that Arizona is just well coached, and that's why they're so good down in the red zone with their backs against the wall. And that time they run the screen pass, and there's just guys waiting for it back in the secondary, and everybody knows where they fit. So it's a well-executed play defensively for the Arizona Cardinals, stopping that screen.
Bill Gramatica from 30. He spent 3 years with the Arizona Cardinals, originally drafted in the 4th round back in '98. A hold. Does it get in? Ooh, it just got in. So after the turnover, the Miami Dolphins go up 3-0 here in the 1st.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
Beautiful Miami. You had a little rain. That's nothing new down here, but it's looking good now, and that guy's looking good. And for Gramatica and the Dolphins, they represent the first time an NFL team has had 4 different players kick a field goal. And the guy that's really the odd man out is Wes Welker, who had to come in for the injured Olinda Mare a couple weeks ago against New England. He kicked the field goal. He's a wide receiver.
What's amazing is they didn't even know they were going to need a kicker till Friday at practice when Matt Bryant blew his quad up trying to kick off.
We saw that, just a little innocent kickoff, and he limped off the field. Kroom gave it up last time. It takes a big hit as he gets about to the 20, just past the 20-yard line. I think they're locked up helmets there a little bit. So, Josh McCown. Surprisingly, his numbers on the road are pretty darn good, even though they try to manage him and keep the game out of his hands as much as they can. And, of course, when you've got a running back like Emmitt Smith, you want to keep the ball in Emmitt's hand.
Well, and I think those road numbers were picked up a little bit by the San Francisco game. Remember, we did that game 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he and Larry Fitzgerald really had a big hookup. Now you add Anquan Bolden to the mix, and McCown feels pretty good, I think, about that receiving corps.
And they'll go right to Smith. Emmitt Smith, 59 yards away from 18,000 career yards. The rest of the offense, 2 very big tackles on the outside. They could be tested inside. Buffalo gave them a lot of pressure there last week. Larry Fitzgerald, the rookie, having a pretty good year. Emmitt Smith, as we said, looking for that 18,000-yard rushing career mark. He'll get it again. And the defense clamps down. That's Sammy Knight, the safety up there, along with Jeff Scanina. That'll bring up the 3rd down. The defense for Miami, across the board, you know about Jason Taylor, pretty solid. the Dolphin all-time leading sack man. But life has been hard on him, and you'll notice that Junior Seau, number 55, not there. He is on IR, torn pec muscle, chest muscle. But they still got Zach Thomas, a tackling machine. And the secondary, two very good corners in Surtain and Madison. 3rd down and 5. Johnson in motion. They'll hand it off to Hambrick. Hambrick has the 1st down, and then he pops it. One man can catch him. Look at Troy Hambrick go. Troy Hambrick all the way down to the Dolphins' 10-yard line for Antoine Edwards. Wrestles him up 61 yards on the run.
Well, and it just works out perfect on a little trap. You've got Bowens here on the backside. He's going to run himself upfield. Reggie Wells has nobody to block. He gets up inside. Hambrick will just follow him into a humongous hole. Now it's off to the races. You see Bowens fly up the field right there? That opened it up. Nobody touched Troy Hambrick, and he's got that thing all the way down to the 11-yard line.
The longest run of the season for Troy Hambrick. You can see his numbers last week, and that's a pretty good average already. Emmett. And they're well aware of Emmitt Smith, and they know about the cutback. And Jason Taylor said, listen, I've been chasing guys all my career. I think I'll finally get a chance to play the cutback.
Absolutely. And let me tell you what happened on that 3rd down, that long running play right there is when you've got a defense and a defensive line that is dying for a sack, and they've only got 17 of them up front this year, you're flying off the rock on 3rd down. You're not even looking for draw. And in 3rd medium, like it was there, I thought a mistake by David Bowens just to fly blindly up the football field, which opened up a huge gash. Hambrick had no problem popping it through.
Miami, the only team in the NFL that hasn't allowed a score on the opponent's first drive. They're going to pass. We've got flags down. The count will go to the end zone, nearly intercepted by middle linebacker Zach Thomas. He had a chance for it. Let's check out the flag. Our referee, Larry Nimmers, will clue us in. Nimmers just about has it right. Talking it over with the crew. We've seen a lot of discussions this year in the NFL with the officials before they actually make the call.
Illegal formation. The tight end was covering up in the play and was moving backwards. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
That one going against Miami. And there's a look at the opening possessions for both teams.
0 points for the Cardinals all season long, 6 punts. And then, of course, you look at what the Dolphins have allowed, which has been 0 as well with a couple of interceptions. So something's got to give here down in the red zone, Miami, with their backs against the wall.
3rd down and 10. Bolden and Fitzgerald at the bottom of your screen. Going up to Johnson, intercepted, dropped. Reggie Howard had it, and he may have gone to the house. The free agent from Carolina couldn't hold on.
And here's Reggie right here, and you'll see him. He diagnoses this thing the whole way as Brian Johnson. Watch him undercut it. He already sees that ball right now, undercuts it, tries to get the pick, and I mean, that's where you need your turnover.
What can you say?
Hey, this defense has got 6 turnovers all season long.
Right.
What Dave Wanstead tells you, used to get 6 turnovers a game with this team defensively.
You'll think about that one all night long. I know I've been there. 29 yards for Rackers, who's been very good at longer distances. That one's up. Will it stay true? I think so. And so the Arizona Cardinals, thanks to a nice 61-yard run by Hambrick, they tie it up here in the 1st.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time.
The rumor mill working overtime here in Miami regarding that man, Dave Wanstead. Many say that a loss here could mean the end of his tenure here in Miami.
Well, too bad Dave Wanstead isn't out there playing corner and has an opportunity to go make picks, because he needs his players to do that. And, you know, we talked to him quite extensively on Friday, and everything you read, guys just aren't making plays. Bottom line, when you have a chance to do it, and Reggie Howard just did, you've got to make that thing happen. That could be decisive towards the end of this game.
Wes Welker ahead of steam. He's got a lane and then trips. Boy, he may have gone a long way. He's out to the 25, 26-yard line, and that's where Jay Fiedler and the Dolphins will take over. Missed opportunities. They could loom big later on. Next week, it's a Fox NFL doubleheader. It all starts with the Bucks taking on the Falcons, and then the Seahawks will take on the Rams. Then the Vikings will bump heads with the rival Green Bay Packers, and the Giants will do battle with the Cardinals. Coverage starts at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox. Today's aerial coverage provided by AmeriQuest. There it is. See, there he goes. And we're down there somewhere.
Flip's moving fast right there now.
Got to move fast and stay on the bus. First and 10, Fiedler to throw the inside pass complete and a first down. Again to Chris Chambers, the second-round pick in 2001 from Wisconsin.
Well, and they protected on a blitz, and if Fiedler gets protection, he is going to be able to make it happen. And that time, Arizona sent a middle linebacker, got some man coverage, and found it down the field to Chambers. And you like the fact that Chambers went up and grabbed that thing with his hands. That's how you get it done. Give yourself an opportunity to run after the catch.
15 yards. Fiedler to Chambers. Morris tries to get a couple inside, not much. Right now, let's go to Jeannie Zelasco in Los Angeles for this update.
We're on our way to Pittsburgh, Battle of Pennsylvania. It is the Steelers that strike first. Hines Ward, end around, straight down the sideline, 16 yards, his first career rushing touchdown. With the extra point, it is 7-0 Steelers.
You see, you do one dance on one side, and they start to emulate it around the NFL.
Plaxico with that block, my goodness. No Deuce Staley today for Pittsburgh. That was, I think, a shock to everybody.
2 yards on the pickup by Morris, 2nd and 8. Chambers in motion, play action. Fiedler on the move where he's very good and a wide open Chris Chambers. Chambers already with 3 catches. Chambers has been very quiet. He's been talked about as being the guy here. It hasn't emerged, but we're seeing it today a little bit.
Watch the blitz come from over here, and they hit it perfectly because Fiedler rolls this way. They're able to protect the blitz. You saw Chambers coming in motion. And now once Jay's out of the pocket, it's easy for him to locate number 84 and pick up the first down. But again, I think the thing to look at is so far so good in terms of protecting against the blitz. That's the key for Fiedler in the passing game.
And then they rolled him out like you suggested, Tim Ryan. He's a better passer on the perimeter. They'll play action and go up the field again. The ball is loose. 3 ball. Looks as though Miami's got it back. That was Bertrand Berry that came around the corner. Let me see. No. They stole it under the pile. That's Arizona's ball.
And he goes right around Damian McIntosh, who has struggled big time at left tackle. And watch Bertrand Berry right here. Watch what he does, Ron, in terms of taking off and pressing the edge. Goes right around the corner. Now, tomahawk chop, slap it loose. Sack, force fumble. And then his guys come up with it in Dansby.
So the Cardinals, they haven't been able to take advantage of turnovers in the past. They have today.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the new Ford 500. Built for the road ahead. By HP. Services and technology help companies face, manage, and love change. By the new Singular, raising the bar. And by Miller. There's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call.
Good old South Beach, Florida. Good old Bertrand Berry came around the corner and caused the fumble. Emmitt Smith inside for Jay Fiedler. He leads the AFC with 7 fumbles, Tim.
I want you to watch this and watch Damian McIntosh, the left tackler. Berry gets up and the wide alignment gets a sack, but watch McIntosh's feet. As soon as they cross over there, he's done. See how he got the body lean going, and then Bertrand Berry worked on the half a man and came around the corner for an offensive tackle. If they screw up with their feet, more times than not, problems are going to follow it up. That time it was a sack and a forced fumble. Big play by Berry.
Pick up a 3. Emmitt Smith looking for that cutback. A nice open field tackle there by Sammy Knight. Starts his 89th consecutive game, the second leading tackler on the team.
And I think if you're Arizona, this is exactly what you have to do. We've already seen Hambrick get the 61-yard run. Arizona runs the football. It's what they do best. Emmitt is up there numbers-wise, having a very good season. And that offensive line, they like to run block. And I think if you saw that game Monday night, we talked about it, defensively, the Dolphins have had a lot of problems in that area.
3rd and 6. The throw complete, but it's well short of the first down. Troy Hambrick on the pass reception.
Let's take a look at the coverage down the field. Sam Madison on Anquan Bolden. A lot of vertical routes. There was vertical routes everywhere. Guys were covered up. McCown had to dump it off underneath. Good job coming up and making the tackle defensively for Miami and holding them now to a punting situation.
Scott Player standing at his 49-yard line will punt away to Welker. He's on the 10-yard line.
Player, Ronnie, one of the best coffin corner kickers in the National Football League.
That's right. You can see it. 13 punts down inside the 20-yard line. That's a nice high one. They'll just try their luck with this one. Bad luck. It tried to go backwards, but Cardinals do a nice job of getting on the ball. We are locked up at 3 here, 5-10 in the first quarter. You're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in the world's finest high-definition standard, HD TV. And we thought for a second there that Jay Fiedler was banged up a little bit, but apparently he is okay and back in the mix.
Jay Fiedler's always banged up. I mean, with that offensive line in front of him, and they've been bad this year. That's been the biggest thing, I think, when you look at this offense, is up front. They've had problems getting that quarterback protected.
Sacked 4 times in that loss last week to the New York Jets on Monday night. Minor, the change of pace back, gets a couple inside. And on that last series, here's what happened on that sack.
Well, and this is actually a run play, and they're locking up here on the draw, and that's a pretty good job by McIntosh. And now that's where he has an advantage over Bertrand Berry. Bertrand Berry is a pass rusher, not known to be real stout in the running game. When they have opportunities to run that way, that's where McIntosh has got to earn his pay now, by pushing Bertrand Berry off the football and using that size advantage.
Pick up a 4 by Minor. Minor again. Minor's got a fake breakthrough. Travis Minor all the way down to about the 50-yard line before he's run out of bounds by Adrian Wilson. Well, 34 yards in the pickup.
Remember the long run by Hambrick where the defensive end got upfield and it was a pulling guard that knocked him out? Watch Bertrand Berry get upfield. It's McMichael that comes and seals him, which creates a huge lane for Minor to get up inside. See Berry, he'll take up off the field. McMichael kicks him out, and there it is right there, along with some good blocks by Darius Thompson, guys down the field, and Minor picks up some big-time yards.
Minor stays in the game. 3 wide outs on the field for Miami. The pump and go down the seam, intended for Darius Thompson, the backup wide receiver, incomplete.
I want you to watch Darius Thompson, 88 here on this last run. Watch him come inside and get a tremendous block. Well, this is him out on the edge, getting a tremendous block to help out Travis Minor there. Everybody inside, Chambers, other guys pulling across the middle of the formation, knocking guys sideways, which opened big holes for Minor. The receiving corps has come to block today, it looks like.
2nd down and 10. Chambers in motion. The end around to Chambers. He's got some speed and he's got a man in front of him. Chambers cutting it back. Touchdown saving tackle by Dwayne Starks. But another nice pickup for the Miami Dolphins, 24.
Well, and this is, Chambers hasn't been getting the football enough, so this is what you do. You figure out ways to get him in the ball, and if it's got to end up being an end around, that's what it is. And let him be explosive. I want you to watch the big boys out here in front. McIntosh had a big block right there. It looked like on Starks. Starks was able to get back up on the play and get in on the tackle.
Minor from the I formation, nothing doing. Ronald McKinnon.
And I told you this is where McIntosh needs to do his thing in the running game. And watch 77 pull out here, and he's going to get Starks. He's going to knock him down. Ooh, wow, that's about a 150-pound advantage. But Starks does get back up and save the tackle. Got to be commended for that, right?
I think he hit so hard he didn't have a choice.
Nice play by McIntosh down the field. You hate when those offensive tackles will chase you down the field and try to make plays out there in space. Good play by him.
I think he bounced back up. A loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Minor shut down again. Ronald McKinnon again. Another update, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, Jeannie Zelasco in LA.
Yeah, what's up with the 7-0 Eagles? They can't seem to ward off the Steelers. Hines Ward again, same side of the field, same result. This time, a 20-yard touchdown reception, and it is 14-0 Pittsburgh.
Obviously, Hines Ward is mocking T.O. He wants him to know he's not the only receiver in the NFL.
Hey, Ronnie, just keep him out of the end zone.
Yeah, that's what you say.
Keep
You don't like
Hines out of the end zone.
Keep him out of the end zone.
That's all he's going to tell T.O. after the game. That's where this offensive line right here now needs to come through in protection for Fiedler in 3rd and long.
He's got time to throw. What a catch by Chambers. I believe he's short of the 1st down. Chris Chambers, 64 catches last year, 11 touchdowns, and here's a little of that action.
And Arizona doesn't blitz. They just come with 4 guys. You give number 9 time, he's going to find the guys. And that's what he did. And watch this acrobatic catch by Chambers behind him. Well, you love the way he goes up and gets it with his fingertips, don't you? Never has been one of those guys since he came out of Wisconsin that was a body catcher. Always goes and gets it with his hands. And the great ones, the Jerry Rices throughout the years in the league, have always done that.
4th and 1. Make it inches. Play action. They'll pass it. Conrad has it, and he may go to the end zone. Touchdown, Dolphins. No flags.
Well, this is why the running game has to be committed to, and you have to make it somewhat effective. And certainly the long run by Travis Minor had Arizona think and run on 4th and inches. Excellent call by Chris Furster, the offensive coordinator, go up top with the pass to the fullback because they caught Ronald McKinnon and all those linebackers really sucking up in that play action to stop the run.
The first touchdown of the year for Rob Conrad. And that is no good. So, Bill Gramatica, as we mentioned earlier, just brought in on Friday after injuries to Alindo Mari and Matt Bryant. He snubs the extra point.
And of course, 4th and inches, you're thinking run. I want you to watch Ronald McKinnon. He's going to get stuck up here. McMichael ends up getting a pick on him. He can't get out to Robert Conrad. See that?
Yep.
First he got sucked up in the play action, and then once he got picked by McMichael, he had no chance. Well executed play, terrific play call offensively for the Dolphins.
And Robert Conrad with no rushes coming into this game for the season. He's more of a receiving back. You look at him on film, not really about the inside ISO plays. He
never
does
has
that.
been. Never has been.
And the Miami Dolphins
love the play call. Love the play call.
Trying to salvage something in this season. 1-7, a horrendous loss last week to the New York Jets on Monday night, 41-14. They not only give up 100-yard games to both Curtis Martin and Lamont Jordan, the fullback, they lose an impact player in Junior Seau. Larry Kroom, he'll take this one 2 yards deep. And he's hit again. He's taken some shots today on the special teams. Next week, America's #1 pregame show returns as JV, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy break it all down in the key NFC North battle between the Vikings and the Packers. Brett Favre tries to lead the Pack back to the top. Plus, find out who goes 10 yards with Terry Bradshaw. It all starts at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox. Tony Bua again.
The special teams coach there, Ronnie, and things have got to get shored up special teams-wise for the Arizona Cardinals. They've been brutal.
Kevin O'Day, the special teams coach. Emmett Smith, as penalty markers fly. Arizona coming off a loss, as we mentioned earlier, 38-14 to Buffalo in the win last week.
And they got to play smarter. That's
illegal
the whole
formation. The wide receiver, number 81, is covering up the tight end. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
And that's the thing about playing smarter. Just by alignment, get yourself into position to where you're not committing an infraction. And Denny told us, I mean, as bad as the win was, as bad as it was in special teams, everything last week, it was the penalties that he was the most disappointed with. He had 14 of them up in Buffalo.
2nd and 9. The Dolphins bring in their nickel package, expecting this right here pass. And wow, McCown is just kind of throwing it in there, intended for Bryant Johnson. And Josh McCown, 3 sacks. You know, he's the kind of guy that he's getting it, starting to get some experience and confidence, but you can tell it's not all the way there.
Well, and I think now that Bolden is back, and this is his first start, he came back and played some nickel third receiver last week, but things have got to start improving in my mind for Josh McCown now. No more excuses. You've got to start making plays, start to see some of that development in the passing game.
The throw complete to Emmitt Smith, and Smith is well short of the first down, and that will bring on the punting unit for the Arizona Cardinals. And that should be the end of the quarter. And a quarter marred by missed opportunities. Talk about Miami and the mixed extra point there, and also the missed interception by Reggie Howard.
Well, the interception was the big one, and that obviously allowed Arizona to kick that field goal and get the 3. You got to make plays when you got a chance. That's been the MO down here for Miami. They just haven't got it done at the critical time.
3-9 to Dolphins. Fox NFL Sunday from Miami will continue after these messages.
SBC, going beyond the call.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
2 brothers in the NFL. Obafemi Ayanbadejo on the left and Brendan Ayanbadejo on the right. Both going up against each other in special teams.
I don't know about you, but I'm pulling for the little brother.
For the little one.
Little brother's got to stick together, man.
Yeah, all right. I was a big brother. I'm going for the big brother. A nice kick by Flair. Welker. As a flag goes down, he's pushed out of bounds just beyond the 35-yard line. 2 flags go down, as a matter of fact.
I know one of them is going to be on Jimmy Wyrick, it looks like, back here in front of the returner with an illegal block.
Nice kick by Scott Player. 51 yards on the punt. Ayanbadejo came from Miami. Right here on this team for a couple years.
He was with Baltimore before that. He's been in this league for a while, and little brother's a UCLA guy, Brendan.
Holding during the kick on return team number 30. That penalty is declined. Illegal block in the back. Number 35. During the return, that penalty is accepted. 10 yards, first down.
Let's go down to the 3rd member of our crew today, Ari Wolf.
Thanks, Ron and Tim. What is a rare occurrence in the National Football League, guys, for 2 brothers to go against each other. Brendan and Obafemi Ayanbadejo. Now, for these guys, they played together last year in Miami, and that's part of the reason why Miami Dolphins special teams coach Keith Armstrong changed the game plan. Initially, those 2 guys were supposed to go head-to-head on special teams. Armstrong changed the game plan, so neither one of those guys will get shown up today. But I did ask Brendan before the game, I said, who's gotten the better of each other over the years? And Brendan was politically correct. He said it's been pretty even. All right, guys, back up to you.
I think Obafemi did a little holding on that one.
Yeah, and got called for it, too. And they turned it down, but it was that Wyrick illegal block in the back that got him and moved him back. Now, Ayanbadejo, Brendan there, was a heck of a defensive end, outside linebacker at UCLA. I remember doing USC games one time, and we went over and played UCLA. He had like 5 sacks in the game. He was a good football player.
Obafemi played in all 16 games last year with the Miami Dolphins. Another part of their mass exodus of guys. The front line, the offensive line for the Dolphins revamped. They brought in 3 free agents.
And I think if Dave Wanstad had an opportunity to take a mulligan and a redo on that with the offensive line, I think he would.
I think he'd buy a couple mulligans at this point.
Major problems.
And there's another flag that just went down late.
The hold on number 30 was on the kicking team during the kick. Therefore, the penalties will offset. We'll go back and re-kick. 4th down.
Larry Nemmer's got that exactly right, because as he was under the impression that both infractions, both fouls were on Miami, therefore one would be declined and then the other would be accepted. But as you see there, that's the Cardinal, Ayambadejo Obafemi, who gets the hold takedown right there. So it offsets. Man, that's,
you know, we started
roughing up the suspect right there.
We started talking about all these Ayambadejos, and I think Larry Nemmer's got confused.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's our fault. That one's on us, Larry.
But he got it right, Ronnie. Sometimes these guys need to get together and have a little consultation and get it figured out.
Tim, it's hard to believe.
You and I have been seeing that now the last couple weeks.
Hard to believe the Miami Dolphins were 10-6 last year. And as they say, you talk to Dave Wanstead, you come up here, and all of a sudden they just fell apart.
Yep.
They were figuring out at the beginning of the season, before the Ricky Williams thing and before Norv Turner left, how we could go to 12 and 13 wins and get to the playoffs.
Well, 4 winning season in a row before this year would give you that impression.
Welker with a hole and a nice run. Flags are down again as he's close to the 50-yard line. 48 yards on the punt, 17 yards on the return. And Wes Welker played the first game of the season with the San Diego Chargers, joined the Chargers as a street free agent, undrafted free agent.
Hold it. Number 35, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down, Arizona.
Well, and that's Jimmy Wyrick, who just had the illegal block in the back, which offset those penalties. He gets back out there and commits another penalty. Dave Wanstead not happy about that. That's the way this year has been for him. And talking to Dave, this is by far the worst year in 30 years of coaching for Dave Wanstead and how this team has been snake bit. And the Ricky Williams fiasco, and it has just been all downhill from there. Their injuries, they've started 4 different tailbacks this year in the backfield. Ricky didn't miss a start when he got here for a couple seasons. The whole David Boston thing when they lost him, I mean, problems have been numerous for this team offensively.
Sammy Morse in the backfield, 1st and 10. Throwing the slant, a knockdown, and there goes the flag. Ball intended for Marty Booker.
Did he trip over Ronaldo Hill, or did Macklin have his hands on him past 5 yards?
Well, the Cardinals are definitely putting their 3 cents in on it.
Let's take a look at it. You'll see the slant here. Watch Ronaldo Hill come in. Looks like he trips him up there. Obviously, they're going to call David Macklin for riding him past the 5 yards with his hands on his back.
14 penalties last week for Arizona, 2 today. Dennis Green has made a bunch of changes on this team, all the way from players to assistant coaches, even guys for special teams as far as starters this week. Michael, the tight end, in motion. They'll go to Morris. Morris goes head up with James Darling and drags him for a couple yards. And the Ricky Williams thing just came down. And once that happened, this team went on a spiral that I don't think they've recovered from
remember
yet.
when they got him, everybody was so pumped up. He put up huge numbers for a couple of years. Huge numbers. And then came the retirement over the summer, which caught everybody by surprise. I mean, everybody to a man. In the offseason, I mean, they're giving motivational speeches within the team. The leaders step up. Ricky gives the most heartfelt speech of everybody.
4 yards on the game, 2nd and 6. Going for the fade up the field of Chambers. He has it. Another nice grab by Chris Chambers. 30 yards on the pickup and another Dolphin first down.
Well, what a great throw. And again, if you give Fiedler the protection, he is going to be able to drop it on the money. And Geno James gives him enough time right there. Now watch this throw to Chambers. Watch the placement. Right in front of Starks, right on the fingertips of Chambers, who comes down with it. Perfect throw beats perfect coverage every time.
Yes, it does.
They've been wanting to get Chambers more involved. Teams have rolled coverage his way week after week. He's already having an impact in this ballgame.
Handoff again to Morris. And Chambers signed a contract extension in August. So obviously the team is committed to him.
Well, and they should be. I mean, he has put up big numbers. Since they drafted him here as a number 2, he has come in and has become the go-to guy and has all the skill that you look for. But again, I think in fairness to him, when you look at his numbers this year, you and I watched a lot of film together. How many times are they rolling the entire secondary to number 84?
5 catches for 73 yards, and that's why Randy McMichael was probably so big last week and then lost to the Jets. Morris again.
Well, and that's where they need Marty Booker to step up and really make some plays. You talk about McMichael. McMichael's been the best receiver on this team, but when you send a Wally Ogunleye up to Chicago, who got you 15.5 sacks last year, and I know that was an impasse in the contract and all that, but you get a receiver down in Marty Booker, who's had terrific numbers over the years. He's got to come up with bigger plays. He's got to be more of an impact guy when they're rolling all the coverage to Chris Chambers. He hasn't come through.
And Booker has made some very disparaging comments on TV, saying that he was unhappy and just tired of losing and wanted to quit. Not what you need for team morale, but that's what you need, more of Chris Chambers as he continues to move the chains. Another first down, a pickup with 8 yards.
Let me tell you how you take care of the blitz. And this time, Arizona comes with a blitz out from the outside, and you're going to see Raynon Thompson, who's going to end up sliding in and coming over here on the blitz. The little cross blitz right there, but he gets rid of it. Jay Fiedler gets rid of it because he knows where his hot route is versus that blitz. And a hot route is where your receiver is going to be, and you know where he's going to be versus that quick blitz, and they had the quick release of the football. He knew right where Chambers was going to be and found him for the first.
Dump off to Morris. He's got to deal with 2. He won't deal with it very well. Ronaldo Hill along with Ray Thompson on the tackle. No yards on the play.
I still think, though, that Miami needs to continue to press and commit with the running game. With Travis Minor, with Sammy Morris, you have to. Because if you do that, as we've seen already in the first quarter and a half of this game, it really allows Jay Fiedler to execute with the play action. When you get those linebackers holding just for a second play action, that's when Fiedler can make his move and have success to those receivers.
Fiedler in trouble. He just throws it down. I didn't see a man there, and it was debatable as to whether or not he was in the pocket.
Oh, he was in the pocket. There's no doubt. That pocket extends all the way back to the end zone.
That's an intentional grounding.
That's an intentional grounding. I'll be surprised if Nemrich doesn't throw it.
There's no intentional grounding. Number 31 was blocked on the ground in the area. Third down.
So Sammy Morris was the guy that was blocked. Watch Darnell Dockett right here. I talked about him in the open. Watch him get up in that A gap and just fly through there. I mean, that is a big man penetrating through the middle of that offensive line at 300 pounds and showing some pretty good agility and quickness to get Fiedler thinking he's got to get rid of that ball. And say Miami's lucky that wasn't an intentional grounding, because from up here it looked like it.
Fiedler was not throwing that ball to Morris, but by rule he can get away with it, so he did. Goes to the out on the backside, and it's complete for another Dolphin first down. Marty Booker, the guy we just got through talking about, been doing a lot of complaining. He now has caught a pass in 67 consecutive games.
I'm never a believer for sitting back on your heels in the red zone. Look at this cushion that David Macklin has given him. Booker's going to take off. He's just going to stop and come back to the football. That's too easy. See, he's got Macklin in his back pedal. Macklin's got no chance to break on that ball and make something happen.
And they'll actually measure for the first down. It looked close, but you were right. It is a first down.
See, I'm a believer down in the red zone defensively. You've got to press and attack guys because everything happens faster. Margin for error is much shorter, of course, but you can't just sit back on your heels, give a 10-yard cushion, and let guys like Marty Booker just run stop routes on you down in the red zone. 67 straight games with a catch there for Marty Booker.
So the first down will make it first and goal for the Dolphins. They'll line up in a 2 tight end package. 1 wide receiver on the field. That's Chambers. He's in motion. They'll hand it off to Morris. Morris, nothing. Nice tackle there by Russell Davis, the 6th-year man out of North Carolina. And Tim, this has to be one of those games that you lose this one, your season might go into a complete tailspin.
Look, I think their season's in a tailspin anyway. They haven't won a game in the division. They're 1-7, and everybody wants Dave Wannstedt to bring in the new players, to bring in the A.J. Feelys, to bring in these young guys and find out about the future. You know what? The future is now for these guys.
It is.
Because it's not about their record and where they are next year. It's about winning as many games and performing as well as they can for next year, whatever team they may be on if it's not here.
Play action. Can't throw it. He's going to run it. Fiedler going for the pylon. He gets out of bounds very wisely. Olete had the crosshairs on it.
You know what I'm saying about Dave
Yeah.
Wannstedt, though? I mean, the media, everybody clamoring for him to get the young guys in and do the team a favor and see who can play on into next year. I don't buy that at all. Coaches don't coach that way. Coaches put the best players on the field that they feel are going to give them the best chance to win every Sunday. And Dave told us, what am I going to look Zach Thomas in the eye? Am I going to look Jason Taylor in the eye and say, look, guys, I'm playing A.J. Feeley. I don't think he's better. You don't think he's better, but we're going to play him because the media wants us to make some changes and look forward to the future. Coaches aren't built that way.
3rd and goal. Pressure. Sack. The rookie, Darnell Dockett, with a very nicely timed sack.
And here's Darnell Dockett right here coming in at that left defensive tackle position. He just comes around on a stunt. You see that? They send Russell Davis in first. Russell Davis takes up a couple of guys, takes the guard in the center, which clears it out for Darnell Dockett to come around and get himself a sack.
Dockett with his 2nd sack of his NFL career. 29 yards now for Bill Gramatica, the left footer. Does he push it through? Yes. So the Dolphins put together a nice drive. The sack there forces the field goal attempt, and they're up comfortably here in the 2nd quarter.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the new Chevrolets. 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months, an American revolution. By Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. By Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL, get ready for the game. And by Bristol Myers Squibb Company, hope, triumph, and the miracle of medicine.
The beautiful beaches of Miami. It's good to see those waters green again after the 3 nasty hurricanes rolled through the Southland earlier in the year. Scoring drive, a huge scoring drive, 61 yards, took a ton of time off the clock. All adding up to not good for the Arizona Cardinals. Larry Kroom has taken some vicious hits today. He's given up the ball once. He squeezes out to about the 26-yard line. 12-3 Dolphins, 8:01 here in the 2nd quarter. Ron Pitts, Tim Ryan back at Pro Player Stadium here in Miami. Ronald Flemings, who was just activated off the practice squad this week, checks in at the defensive end position for the Miami Dolphins. He is number 79. Now to let it go. Checks it down underneath to Anquan Bolden, who hails from 45 minutes from here. He's shut down quickly by Patrick Surtain.
I'm telling you, with the exception of the long run by Hambrick in the 1st quarter, this defense so far has come to play. And you look there on the numbers in the 3 possessions. And it's been because of a couple of turnovers by Miami, special teams-wise, and then Fiedler that has put Arizona in some good field position. But defensively, again, with the exception of that long run, these guys have been stout, and that's important. I mean, coming off that game on Monday night, they were thoroughly embarrassed by the Jets defensively.
Johnson in motion, Hambrick in the backfield. Troy Hambrick looking for some room. He's got nothing but more white shirts. For another game break, let's head to Los Angeles again and check in with Jeannie Zalaska.
Ron, Ben Roethlisberger does not know what it feels like to lose an NFL game, and he's not about to start now. On the move, look who's waiting in the end zone. Jay Roosma, 2-yard touchdown reception. It is now 21-0 Steelers.
Boy, Jeannie, you're right about that as you look at the standings in the NFC East. Pittsburgh, Roethlisberger, he is the talk of the town. Miami has forced the most 3-and-outs in the NFL this year at 30. Here's a chance for 31, 3rd and 3. Hambrick. And it looks as though he's got the first down as he crosses our Fox first down line.
Let's go back to a couple of plays ago. We talked about the defensive line. I want you to watch Jeff Skadina right here and how important it is on run defense. Watch what he does to Stepanovich, knocking him back, which will knock the puller off track, the left guard. See, here's what penetration does by a defensive lineman. You see Skadina do that? You see him take Stepanovic and just blow him 2 yards in the backfield? Now that backside guard can't get off. That's a good play by Jeff Skadina, who they brought in here to play about 15 plays a game. You got to count on him as a starter now.
Pressure for McCown. He gets it away, and that's Freddie Jones, the tight end, and Jones is brought down by Flemings quickly. He picks up 5.
Brian Robinson got some good push there, number 98, and I was just talking about Jeff Skadina and Brian Robinson, and those guys were brought in here to be depth players, to come in and play 15, 20 plays a game and get in that rotation and where you don't have a big drop-off. You see, but when Larry Chester got hurt, when Tim Bowens got hurt, it really changed the entire outlook of this defense, and now you're counting on those guys that you're counting on as backups. They got to come in and play 50, 60, 70 plays a ball game.
Freddie Jones goes over 4,000 yards receiving on that catch. Here's another catch. Fitzgerald, who's always been very good in the slot in college. He's been very good in the slot inside here in the pros.
Watch him come out of the slot here, and what happens, I'm going to tell you, is he goes inside to the zone. Watch the linebacker, Eddie Moore, fall down, number 58, who's right in the zone.
Yeah, they got him doubled.
See, Eddie's trying to slide out right there and double up on him. He falls down. Larry Fitzgerald makes it look easy in the middle of the zone and uses that big size.
Arizona approaching midfield. Hambrick looking for the cutback. He won't get it. And this defense, as you look at Brian Robinson on the tackle, they're very, very disciplined. I think it starts with number 54, their all-time leading tackler, Zach Thomas.
Well, it does, and he's having a good year and is up in every game double-digit tackles. But I think when you look at him, and I was just talking about Larry Chester and Tim Bowens, and you see Sammy Knight there, what they're having to do a lot more of is Zach's having to get depth a little bit. Sammy Knight's having to step up in the box because without those 2 D tackles, they're having problems shutting the run down consistently.
And there's a nice ad-lib just to get out of that mix by McCown. Throws it to Hambrick. Hambrick only picks up 2. The pressure is there again.
And Brian Robinson doing his thing again. Here he is, number 98. Let's watch where the pressure comes from. See the little swim over there? Just an arm over on Jeremy Bridges. That's a heck of a move right there. And Brian Robinson not known for being that 3 technique pass rusher. And of course that 3 technique is a guy that always lines up outside shade of the offensive guard, tries to get in that gap. Good job by him.
3rd down and 7. Bolden at the bottom of your screen. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. Deep throw over the middle. It's too high. Ball intended for Brian Johnson. That'll bring on the punting unit for Arizona.
There's Anquan Bolden here. He's trying to get inside, dragging across the field.
But that's not going to get you the first down anyway.
Get you the first.
Oh, wide open up the top.
That's just not a good throw. He had him, couldn't find him.
Someone was running wide open down the sideline.
Leonard Davis just introduced Jason Taylor to about 385 pounds. Wow.
Jason was concerned about that. The player kick. He's very good at dropping inside the 20. Can't quite make that one happen. Nice hustle there by Adrian Mays, brought up specifically to play special teams. The paltry numbers of Josh McCown today.
Yeah, he hasn't played well, and I think early on we saw the Reggie Howard almost interception where Reggie dropped it, but I think Josh and what he's struggling from right now, lack of inexperience, and he's eyeing down his receivers. Those defensive backs are reading his eyes.
Travis Minor in the backfield. He'll take the handoff. Runs that inside. Adrian Wilson comes up from that safety position to knock it down. Let's go back to that 3rd down. Incompletion by Josh McCown.
Well, and you can see where McCown is looking. Just watch his head, and he's going to end up being locked in on this guy right here, who's Brian Johnson, who comes back to the middle of the field. But what you're going to see is Anquan Bolden dragging, and Anquan will get out on the sidelines and be wide open. See where he's looking the whole time? See where he's looking the whole time? If you go back, you'll see Anquan Bolden over on the left sidelines. There's nobody within 25 yards of him. McCown never took his eyes off Brian Johnson.
And Obafemi Ayambadejo was wide open running up the sidelines as well. 2nd down and 8. We've got penalty flags. It looks as though someone on the Arizona Cardinal defense moved. Let's see if they were pulled off. Larry Nimmers.
Encroachment, and 8. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's against Russell Davis. Let's go down to the sidelines for Ari Wolf.
All right, Ronnie, well, I talked to Josh McCown today before the game, and he said last week in Buffalo wasn't the worst he's ever played, but he said it was the single toughest game he's ever been a part of as a player, high school, college, or pro. And he was really hoping, being down here in the nice weather, that the offense would get cranked up again. He'd be able to throw it down the field, but so far today it has not been a good day for Josh McCown.
All right, Ari, McCown, the third-round pick, third-year man out of Sam Houston State. Travis Minor, he's been running hard. He's got another first down for the Dolphins. And Dennis Green said it from day one, as soon as he took the job. He said, I'll tell you one guy that's in my corner and that's on this team, it's going to be my guy. That's Josh McCown.
Well, everybody talks about it. Denny, what are you going to do with it before the draft? You're going to grab yourself a quarterback. You guys need a quarterback. No, Josh McCown is my guy. We feel he's got the athleticism. We feel he's got the ability to develop into a pretty good quarterback in the National Football League.
That's a 2-minute warning. You see the rush yards there for Miami, and I think it in large part due to a guy named Travis Minor who is getting uncorked. 6 rushes for 46 yards, 7.7 per attempt. You can win with that, Tim.
Yeah, and, you know, he was running good at the start of the season before he got hurt. Now they've, as I said earlier, had 4 different starters in the backfield for Miami on offense.
First play under 2 minutes here in Miami. The shovel pass.
Don't like it.
Incomplete. I hate that play.
I do too.
For the simple reason, I know they can't lose the ball because technically it is a pass, but just seems like more things go wrong than right.
Especially when you got defensive ends that love to fly off the ball. And watch Calvin Pace right there. Almost takes it from Jay Fiedler. To me, there is too much risk, not enough reward with that type of play.
Right.
Don't like it. Especially when you show it 2 weeks in a row. We saw it last week, same play against the Jets.
3 timeouts remaining for the Dolphins. Morris in the backfield. Fiedler going on the stutter and go. He doesn't have a man. That's nearly intercepted. Dropped again by David Macklin. He dropped one last week in Buffalo. That would have been huge.
Well, and obviously Fiedler and Chambers are off track because Chambers fades it back inside on a little stop and go, and Fiedler wasn't expecting that, throws it outside, and Macklin missed another interception. He had one right in his hands last week that could have been a big turnaround for Arizona.
Boy, that's
You've got to get the turnovers when you have opportunities. And this team came into the game today leading the league in forcing turnovers with 18. They didn't have any last week. They've already got the one today by Bertrand Berry. You got to come up with those easy interceptions.
3rd down and 6. They dump it off. Morris can't hold on. So a drop on either side or both sides, and that'll lead to the punting situation for the Miami Dolphins.
And you get the idea now that some of these guys are starting to get pretty good push on Jay Fiedler trying to collapse that pocket in front of him. You see that?
Yeah, that's a nice push here. Calvin Pace looked like he was in there.
Seems like now in the last couple of series, that defensive line for Arizona has started to settle in and get some pretty good heat on Fiedler.
First punt of the day. Under 2 minutes here in the first half for the Miami Dolphins. A high kick, a boomer, as Carl Williams goes all the way back to the 12. And he takes a shot. He never saw it coming. 55-yard punt, 9-yard return, and a knockout shot by Jimmy Wyrick. You see the rush yards there for Miami, and I think it in large part due to a guy named Travis Minor who is getting uncorked. 6 rushes for 46 yards, 7.7 per attempt. You can win with that, Tim.
Yeah, and, you know, he was running good at the start of the season before he got hurt. Now they've, as I said earlier, had 4 different starters in the backfield for Miami on offense.
First play under 2 minutes here in Miami. The shovel pass.
Don't like it.
Incomplete. I hate that play.
I do too.
For the simple reason, I know they can't lose the ball because technically it is a pass, but just seems like more things go wrong than right.
Especially when you got defensive ends that love to fly off the ball. And watch Calvin Pace right there. Almost takes it from Jay Fiedler. To me, there is too much risk, not enough reward with that type of play.
Right.
Don't like it. Especially when you show it 2 weeks in a row. We saw it last week, same play against the Jets.
3 timeouts remaining for the Dolphins. Morris in the backfield. Fiedler Going on the stutter and go. He doesn't have a man. That's nearly intercepted. Dropped again by David Macklin. He dropped one last week in Buffalo. That would have been huge.
Well, and obviously Fiedler and Chambers are off track because Chambers fades it back inside on a little stop and go, and Fiedler wasn't expecting that, throws it outside, and Macklin missed another interception. He had one right in his hands last week that could have been a big turnaround for Arizona.
Boy,
You've got to get the turnovers when you have opportunities. And this team came into the game today leading the league in forcing turnovers with 18. They didn't have any last week. They've already got the one today by Bertrand Berry. You got to come up with those easy interceptions.
3rd down and 6. They dump it off. Morris can't hold on. So a drop on either side or both sides, and that'll lead to the punting situation for the Miami Dolphins.
And you get the idea now that some of these guys are starting to get pretty good push on Jay Fiedler trying to collapse that pocket in front of him. You see that?
Yeah, that's a nice push there. Calvin Pace looked like he was in there.
Seems like now the last couple of series, that defensive line for Arizona has started to settle in and get some pretty good heat on Fiedler.
First punt of the day. Under 2 minutes here in the first half for the Miami Dolphins. A high kick, a boomer, as Carl Williams goes all the way back to the 12. And he takes a shot. He never saw it coming. 55-yard punt, 9-yard return, and a knockout shot by Jimmy Wyrick.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Cadillac and the all-new STS. Breakthrough.
Coming up, it's the Visa halftime report. All the scores and highlights in action. Jeannie Zelasco and Terrell Davis, plus a Fox Sports ticker. That's coming your way at halftime. Remember, it's Terrell, not Terrell. Terrell.
And that's not T.O. either. Terrell Davis. T.D.
1:31 here on the clock. 1st and 10. Flags are down already.
False start, offense, number 81. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
And that's on Anquan Bolden, the native from Pahokee, Florida, about 45 minutes from here. He had to buy, what'd you say, about 100 tickets at $61 a pop. He wrote a couple checks.
Nah, I don't think he's too worried about it. I think he's got a new contract coming. So
yeah.
I think he's going to be okay in that area. But such a great high school football player down here in the state of Florida with a bunch of guys out on the field down there today.
Ian Badejo. He's inside and looks as though Arizona is going to just try to run this thing out. They've got 3 timeouts left.
What's that saying about your passing game? If you're just going to run it out, you're down 9 with over a minute to go, and you're just going to run it out? I hope that's not the case. Hopefully McCown's going to start working the sidelines and try to get this ball down the field.
They're in the spread, and Jason Taylor got the jump of life. You know, he thought he had a tip on McCown as far as getting off the ball.
No, I think
that might have been too good.
I think he was wrong on the tip this time.
Encroachment defense, number 99, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Woo. Yeah, he guessed on that. But the flip side is when you guess and guess right, you get that great jump.
Yeah, you're on the highlight reels on the post-game show.
Whistle.
Again, that's that risk-reward factor, that cost-benefit analysis that you've got to do before every play.
You sound like a financial advisor. McCown outside to Johnson. Johnson picks up the 1st down, gets out of bounds, and the clock is stopped.
Well, and this is what you expected from the 1st down about 3 plays ago. Start working the sidelines and try to get it down the field. And remember last week, right before half, the 2-minute drill, 2-minute offense for this Arizona team was diabolical. I mean, it was brutal. And Denny said they practiced on it this week. They went after it. But again, in practice, it's a lot different. Easier said than done when the bullets are flying for real out here.
Funny how that works. Bolden has the catch, but takes a big hit.
Better take that timeout.
Right. They've got all 3. They have not taken one yet. Finally, McCown called for a timeout.
Everything's late. I mean, that's 6 seconds right there that the quarterback could have saved if he had more experience.
They got 48 seconds to try to punch one in.
Visa, proud sponsor of the...
And Tim, you commented before the break there, we saw this same thing last week in 2-minute situations. You just don't see the urgency and the organization from this offense.
Well, where have the Hall of Famers made their livings? What did Dan Marino do in the 2-minute?
Oh, I'm still
What did Joe Montana do in the 2-minute? What does Brett Favre do right now in the 2-minute?
That's movement. That looked like David Bowen's jump, but he's pointing to the other side. Dan Marino took us on a 2-minute drive one day when I was playing for Buffalo.
Neutral zone infraction.
Yep.
On the defense, number 96, who jumped into the neutral zone, caused the offense to false start. It's a 5-yard penalty, will result in a first down.
There's Bowens there. Watch him move, and as soon as he does, the center snaps the ball, catches him in the neutral zone. That's got offsides every time on the defense.
Bowens with 3 sacks. 50-year man out of Western Illinois.
And again, in all fairness to McCown, the 2-minute drive is really a lot about experience and being out on the field on Sundays, not practice reps. It's a whole different ball game out there. But to me, you need a sense of urgency. You need a plan of attack, and you need to go for it. And I don't sense that from him.
All right, still some discussion here. That's head linesman Paul Wiedner. I think they're trying to coordinate the exact down and the time on the clock and the spot of the ball.
Short of the first down.
Still second down after the penalty.
Second and short, Miami's expecting to run. Hit it up top. Try to get a big play in the pass game.
There's the 8th man. You're right. And there's the run, Tim Ryan. And guess who makes the tackle? The 8th man that came up, Antoine Edwards. You called it.
Now, he got the first down, but it still makes no sense to me. When you've got a safety that's running up, just getting in on the blitz and getting to be that 8th guy in the box, you're going to have some man coverage and a chance to make some plays in the pass game.
The pressure. The count steps up. Nearly intercepted. Nice pressure on the play by Taylor.
Jason Taylor and Brian Robinson both get pressure, and Jason's going to work the edge here. Yeah, I hated that as a defensive end when you get the edge on a big offensive tackle, but the guy outweighs you by about 100 pounds and just jumps on your back and you collapse. It's hard to hold that 380 on your back when he's trying to splat you.
Ball's in the air. A penalty marker goes down in the backfield.
I bet you anything they're going to get the defensive end over there for the hit in hitting the face of the quarterback.
Roughing the passer.
Yep.
Number 98. Bumped him in the back of the helmet.
Yep.
It's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
Brian Robinson with the hit, and Antoine Bolden is in serious pain.
Here's Brian Robinson. Now watch him get the hit. Oh, he's coming from that's. Oh yeah, that's Bowens. It wasn't Brian Robinson. That was Bowens that came in and got the hit. 96. You see there?
Oh, there is
and
nothing.
It was a great job, I thought. But anytime you hit the quarterback in the helmet, Ronnie, it's a foul every time. They're going to call it. Period. I don't like it.
Even when you get the arm and the ball first.
I don't like it. They're going to call it. And then you see Bolden go down right there, and obviously he's injured on the play, although he is jogging off right now.
Antoine Bolden.
In the 2 minutes requires Arizona to take their second team timeout.
The injury to Antoine Bolden, he sat out 6 games, played his first game last week. He had surgery, knee surgery, for a torn meniscus. That's the cartilage in the knee. And you have to hold your breath when you see him go down that, because you think maybe that's the knee again.
Yep. I really feel bad for David Bowens on that play. I mean, you work your tail off to get to the quarterback, and you're trying to bat the ball down and get in on a sack, and unintentionally brush the back of the quarterback's head.
Right.
And it's a 15-yarder automatic first down.
That's weak.
I mean, you'll work 30, 40 times to get to the quarterback of the game and not even get a sniff.
I mean, he didn't lead with the helmet. His hands were in the air. No. He hit his arm first.
The way the rule shows you, you touch him in the head, they're calling a foul.
Or you go high. McCown throwing down the middle of the field. Nearly intercepted. Intended for Carl Williams, Patrick Surtain on the coverage.
And Carl Williams is coming out of the slot, and they're just going to press guys vertical down the field. Surtain's got him locked up in man coverage. This ball's underthrown, and
oh boy,
good defense there by Carl Williams going up and getting that thing out of the hands of Surtain.
McCown 0 for his last 5 pass attempts. And remember that Neil Rackers has hit 3 field goals from 50 yards or better. Second down and 10. He's got Fitzgerald wide open, and he missed throws. Oh, my goodness. And if I'm Fitzgerald, I'm upset, too.
Well, I'll tell you why he missed through. I'll tell you why he missed through, because Jason Taylor was in his grill so fast and put a big hit on him that McCown had to get rid of it. Watch Taylor here, and he's going to spin back under it. Watch him, see him spin off the chip right there. Pow! He gets the hit. McCown senses him coming out of the corner, has to unload the football. It's not even close to a wide-open Fitzgerald. But they're trying everything. Jason Taylor's seen that all year long, where you've got a tackle on him, you're chipping him with the running back. You've got to get creative out there as a pass rusher, and he uses the creativity that time with a nice spin back inside.
This could be the last play of the first half. We won't even get it off. Flags go down. Talking about Jason Taylor, just signed a new deal in March. Includes an $8+ million signing bonus.
On the offense, number 81, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
It's good to see Anquan Bolden back in the football game. If you're an Arizona Cardinal fan, you're happy about that, because he was just nicked up 2 or 3 plays ago, and he was the MVP of this offense without question last year. To me, he was the best rookie wide receiver in the NFL last year, and it wasn't even close.
Went to the Pro Bowl, the only Pro Bowl, only rookie in the Pro Bowl last year. More pressure. McCown steps up. This one's got to go to the end zone. He's got Johnson down there, surrounded by 5 Dolphins, and it'll be incomplete, and that's how we'll end the half. That's the end of the first half with the score: Arizona 3, Miami 12. Fox NFL Sunday will continue from Miami after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
Washington on the board. Clinton Portis having a good first half, 71 yards rushing. And yeah, we got to get to this. This is actually pregame before the opening kickoff. Arizona, Miami, and this the fireworks here. Dolphins going for it on 4th and 1. Jay Fiedler hits Rob Conrad from 20 yards out. The extra point was...
The Dolphins by 9 here at halftime. Our sideline reporter Ari Wolf caught up with Dolphins head coach Dave Wanstead at half.
Here with Dolphins head coach Dave Wanstead. Coach, coming off the bad loss Monday night, your defense got beat up pretty good. What did you stress this week in practice, because they played well here in the first half?
Well, we just got back to fundamentals, and really it had anything to do with physically. I mean, mentally we had to get our minds back to where we were, 2 weeks ago against St. Louis. And we've got a mature group of guys, and they battled through it. We got a lot of football left, we know that. But we've come out, we wanted to start fast today, which we did.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
All right. The score, Miami 12, Arizona 3. We will return for the start of the second half after these messages from your local Fox station. Ron Pitts, Tim Ryan back at Pro Player Park. Miami by 9. And Josh McCown has had a rough go of it. 8 for 17 for 35 yards. That's with 2 first-rounders and a second-rounder on the field that went to the Pro Bowl last year.
Yeah, and I think it's exactly what Miami wanted. They wanted to come back and respond today defensively, because Monday night, as we've talked about over and over again, they were thoroughly embarrassed. They were beat up. They played good today. With the exception of the one run by Troy Hamrick, they've shut down the running game, and then they've gotten the pressure on Josh McCown, which has been all over the place, especially in the second quarter. They really started bringing the heat, and the thing that you have to be impressed with is they did it with 4 guys. They didn't have to blitz to do it. They could cover guys back in the secondary with 7, and it was really difficult for McCown out there with all those guys in his face.
And then you flip over to the offensive side of it. Miami's done a good job of holding on to the football. Travis Minor's really shown up big. Over 60 yards rushing, and I think that's a guy, like you said, he was hurt earlier, but he's gotten on track, and that's been a big difference for this offense.
Yeah, it has, and he had the big long run, and I think you got to give those guys credit up front in terms of the offensive line, because they have opened up some holes. But I think one thing that started to worry you there at the end of the half is that offensive line started to get porous in the protection. Fiedler started getting hurt, and that's a telltale sign, which means trouble for Jay Fiedler. So they got to get that shored up in the second half, and as you see there by the stats in terms of being able to run the football and shut it down consistently, they've won time of possession, which has kept their defense over on the sideline, which has helped.
Let's check out the fantasy numbers for the game. We talked about McCown's number. Fiedler, not too bad. Got a touchdown in there. And Travis Minor, 6 rushes, 46 yards. Nonetheless, been a big difference. And Troy Hambrick had that big run of 61 yards. That's why his numbers look so good. Dave Wanstead has to be somewhat happy with the effort as he talked to.
He's got to be.
Ari Wolf there.
And we talked to him on Friday, and I played for Dave in Chicago. Heck, he recruited me back when he was at USC back in the early 80s. I've known him for a long, long time. And one thing that he'll never change is his positive outlook and being upbeat. And a lot of guys say it's a facade, and how can you be 1-7 and be upbeat? But it's all Dave Wanstead knows how to do. That's how he coaches.
Ryan Gilmore, he takes a shot at the former Arizona Cardinal, and he's down just beyond the 20-yard line. Let's go down to our sideline reporter, Ari Wolf, who caught up with head coach Dennis Green.
Here with Cardinals head coach Dennis Green. Coach, any thoughts about making a change at quarterback? Josh McCown struggling the past couple weeks. What can you do to get this offense going?
Well, I think we just got to get everybody playing better and then finish the plays. I think we've got a chance to make some plays. They've overthrown a few balls, but we just got to try to get out there and bounce our offense off.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, Ari.
And again, I think a big problem there in the second quarter was the inability to protect McCown anytime they got out of that 3-step drop stuff. Anything 5- and 7-step drop, he was getting hit.
The third quarter has not been good for the Miami Dolphins. I'll show you in just a second. Wow, that's a good start. Darius Thompson rips one off right off the bat here, and there you go. That's the number. Outscored 61-3.
Look at that.
In the third quarter.
Of course, everybody says that's coaching. You go in at halftime, and I've always said it's the most important time in pro football, or halftime adjustments. But you talk to Dave Wanstead, and he says he doesn't get it. It's a stat that historically, in the teams that he's coached, they've been very good in the third quarter, and says he doesn't know what to do about it. He says it's ugly. He realizes it, but can't get it figured out, and figured out why.
14 yards and a first on that pickup. Here's the handoff to Minor. Minor breaks outside. A flag is down. Russell Davis grabbed him. He may have grabbed a little face mask as well.
It's either that or it's Chris Chambers with an illegal block.
Yeah, the flag came before the face mask. That's against Miami. And a footnote to that 61-3 third quarter thing. Arizona has lost 8 in a row when trailing at half, so that'll help the third quarter problem that Miami has.
Holding offense, number 24. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
No, it was 84. It was Chris Chambers. It wasn't 24. It was Chris Chambers out on the edge on Dwayne Starks. And you can see it right here. Starks will hit it. Watch Chambers hold it.
Yeah.
See the left arm? You see him pull him right there? Easy call for the side judge.
Starks trying to beat the crackback. There you go. Larry Nimmers just corrected
Larry, we got it handled up here, Larry.
Larry's got it handled, too. The scoring today went like this. Bill Gramatica just brought in Friday because of injuries to Alindo Mari and Matt Bryant. He put in 2 field goals. Neil Rackers put in 1 more on the other side for the Cardinals. And Robert Conrad scored from 20 yards out on the pass reception. Minor again, and Minor with another big breakout. And Minor rumbling all the way into Arizona territory as he edges closer to the 100-yard mark, 26.
And they caught him just right in a draw, Ronnie. Russell Davis, the nose guard, watch him spin himself out of the play. Dockett goes this way. Look at the humongous alleyway it opens up for Travis Minor. Watch Russell Davis. You see that? You never do that as a defensive tackle. You never spin out of your gap. I mean, that's the Cardinal rule, especially for a nose guard. Davis does it there, and defensively the Cardinals pay for it.
Minor started week 1 versus Tennessee. He's been bothered by injuries. Finally getting back in, incomplete. Macklin in on the play along with Darling, intended for Marty Booker.
I'm so impressed with Darnell Dockett. And we talked about him as a rookie coming out of Florida State. And you know, most rookie defensive linemen, and most football players anyway coming into this league, usually play high, especially as the season goes on. They start to wear down a little bit. They start standing up. This guy's pad level every week gets lower and lower and lower. And you know, Ron, that up front low man wins. That's a leverage game, and he's playing his tail off today.
Another one of those Florida State players. Dennis Green says he likes the kids from this area. Florida, Florida State, Miami. That's movement.
False start, offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Damian McIntosh, one of the linemen brought in this year. They brought in 5 new offensive linemen. He came in from San Diego as a free agent.
Getting the double whammy. He sees the blitz coming inside out of the corner of his eye, and then Bertrand Berry's flying off the ball. So he's obviously a snap count early. He struggled with mental mistakes and physical mistakes all year long. And again, another guy that they didn't bring in to be the starter, brought him in to be a backup. Wade Smith has done nothing, so they need to depend on Damian McIntosh now.
Here comes the pressure inside. They'll throw just a bit behind Marty Booker. And Fiedler's got to be better than that.
Yeah, that's not a good throw, especially when the corner falls down on the slant. They get it short up on the blitz because you'll see guys that are going to come up inside. They'll get it blocked. See Raynoch Thompson get up in that A gap. McKinney gets it blocked. Fiedler just throws a bad football outside of Marty Booker.
Let's go, D.
Fox Sports ticker up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, updating you on all the other scores around the league. And you were right, Buffalo is giving the New York Jets all they can handle up there. Fiedler, the shovel. That's Morris. Morris trying to fight for extra yardage. That's going to bring up 4th down for the Miami Dolphins.
You know, I wonder sometimes if Jay Fiedler should just put the ball down and run. I really believe that. How many times have we seen him where he's got wide open spaces and then he shovel pass or tries to dish it to the running back that has somebody on him? Jay Fiedler's a heck of an athlete. I think he can be much better in terms of being a multi-dimensional player and a weapon if he threatens the ball downfield with his legs.
Matt Turk has had some boomers today. He'll try to drop this one inside the 10. Carl Williams is deep, very high kick, angling to the sideline. And they're going to get a shot to down it. They can't get to it. Great effort. It'll go out to the 20 for a touchback for the Arizona Cardinals. 12-3 Dolphins.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
You know, if you're a Miami fan and you're bummed out that this thing didn't get down inside the 5-yard line, here's why. Watch for Jeremiah Bell. See right there, he's out of bounds. Now, he cannot be the first guy to come back in and touch the ball. So you're wondering, why doesn't he down that thing? They could have had it on the 2. Even his own players are looking at him. Even Dave Wanstadt's going, why didn't you go after it? Why didn't you touch the ball? Jeremiah Bell knows the rules, that's why. And for a first-year player, I mean, that's a pretty heads-up play to know you're out of bounds and can't be the first guy in to touch it or it's a penalty.
We've seen a lot of guys make that mistake this year. McCown on the hook. Oh, he won't get out of that one. Jason Taylor with his 4th sack of the season.
Well, this is where he does it. When he gets out wide, watch him get up and then come underneath and turn on the Jets to close the gap on McCown. You see him come under the come under the guard right there and then turn on the speed to run down Josh McCown. That is a big-time athletic play right there for Jason Taylor, who, believe me, is about as frustrated as it gets as a defensive player here for the Miami Dolphins. They are not used to what's been going down this season.
Second most sacks in the NFL since the year 2000. Emmitt Smith going for the hard ones inside. And Jason Taylor is a guy that has the ability to move on either side of the line of scrimmage.
Well, more times than not. Think about it. Think about last year. Agunlier was the left end. Jason Taylor was the right end, and that's pretty much exclusively what you've got. But now, as we've talked about in this game, everybody's turning protection to number 99. Everybody's sliding their protection to Jason Taylor. So what you have to do if you're Dave Wanstadt and Clarence Brooks, the defensive line coach, you got to move them around. You got to put them at right end. You got to put them at left end. You got to drop them back into the middle, and you'll see a lot of that with Jason Taylor.
The throw complete over the middle. That's Anquan Bolden. He's going to run away. But the white shirts rally quickly. You think that sack by Taylor didn't get this team fired up a little bit? He got the crowd going, and that will bring on the punting unit for the Arizona Cardinals.
McCown actually looks the other way so he doesn't laser in on Bolden and gets him the football. Has the protection to unload it. Bolden is wide open. There's a break in coverage out there somewhere. But look at the white shirts come up now and corral the football. because they know if they get him stopped running, they get off the field. Another good job by them getting off the football field, giving their offense a chance to get some reps.
Player with a huge punt to Wes Welker at the 29. They run the reverse. That looked like a clip. They don't call it. Ryan Gilmore is still going, and he's pushed out of bounds at close to the 40-yard line.
Boy, if they missed that one on Darius Thompson, they found it somewhere else.
That looked like not only a clip, Tim, but a below the waist block as well. 53-yard punt, 12 yards on the return with flags down.
And that flag came in late. What we saw was right here. You'll see as we get this thing up, it looked like Darius Thompson, as you said, came in with a low hit on the back. On LeVar Woods, it looked like. There was nothing called, and then a flag comes in late, so we'll see if they picked it up.
There's no foul in the play. The low block started high and slid low, therefore it was a legal block.
And I know they've changed the point of emphasis on what they call clipping and no clipping, but I'm not sure how they got away with the clipping either.
Watch 88. Is he in the back?
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Can you block in the back on special teams?
No way. That's a missed call. 12-3 Miami.
Brought to you by GMC Trucks and SUVs. We are professional grade.
Got a beautiful shot of Pro Player Stadium, formerly Joe Robbie Stadium. That was a million years ago, Tim, when I played. Travis Minor, he's been playing all day. Another first down, another great run by Travis Minor.
I'm just really impressed with how they're calling plays today, because they are catching Arizona every time in the right blitz. And watch how the blitz is going to come from here. But Geno James gets around here and the ball comes back this way. They run right away from the blitz just by the play call. And then you see there Minor's able to shake a tackle loose at Darnell Dockett and pick up the positive yards. Impressive play calling selection today for Miami offensively, and some credit to Chris Furster, that offensive coordinator.
8 carries for 86 yards for Minor. He'll get this one again, the 9th carry. Lucky if he got back to the line of scrimmage. Adrian Wilson there, along with Russell Davis. Mentioned earlier, Minor, the 4th-year man out of Florida State, a 3rd-round pick here in 2001. And to say that this team is grasping for straws for someone that can run the ball after the Ricky Williams issue is a gross understatement.
Well, they've done, again, as I said earlier, 4 different tailbacks that have started this year. They brought down Lamar Gordon. Remember, they ended up giving up a high draft pick for him. And so many guys got hurt, and that was partly because Minor got hurt early in the season. He's now back healthy. It's clear he's up near 100 yards already.
And it's clear that's a career high for him, as you saw there on our graphic. The throw outside, dropped by a guy we thought we'd hear a lot from today, and it's so bad he's got a tear in his pants. That's Randy McMichael.
He's been their best receiver this year, and this is the guy that Arizona knew that they had to shut down. And here he is in a little stack in the slot there. You got Darling that comes on a blitz. Watch this. So Fiedler's got to get rid of it. He just drops the ball. He'd have got drilled anyway by Adrian Wilson.
And you know what? He got drilled a little bit by Darling because Fiedler is on the ground hurt. The trainers have had to come out and attend to him. I think the weight from Darling on his shoulder or back. And that brings up another subject about the quarterback issue here. A lot of people starting to whisper that Drew Brees from San Diego, because of Phillip Rivers, a 1st-round pick, maybe Brees will be here in a trade. Who knows? 12-3 Miami. So get your F's ready. Jay Fiedler checks out. A.J. Feely checks in.
See that hand right there? I think Fiedler got himself a stinger, Ronnie, up in the neck when Darling took him down.
A.J. Feely comes right into the midst of a 3rd down. And it's dropped. He had it completed. Brian Gilmore, Wade from Arizona this offseason, or right after training camp, and maybe that's why. That'll bring on the punting unit for the Dolphins.
They'll roll Feedley out, and that's a good thing to do if you get your young quarterback in there, and he just fires a dart to Gilmore, hits him right square in the hands. That's a perfect throw. Can't get any better. And Darling and Gilmore puts it on the ground.
Feely, not a lot of experience. 13 total starts from the end of college to the NFL. Fair caught by Carl Williams. And that's where the Cardinals will take over. 8:53 here in the third. 12-3 Miami.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By Best Buy, thousands of possibilities, get yours. And by Cialis. Cialis is here. Ask your doctor if a free sample of Cialis is right for you.
Back in Miami, 12-3 Dolphins. Jay Fiedler, the original undrafted rookie free agent for the Philadelphia Eagles back in '94. Spent a couple years there, then spent 2 years out of football and came back in. He's hurt a little bit right now. Emmitt Smith trying to break out and having a hard time. Let's go down to the sideline for Ari Wolf.
Hey, Ronnie, an update on Dolphins quarterback Jay Fiedler. He has a left shoulder stinger. His return is probable. And, guys, a lot of things said about Jay Fiedler, but one thing I think everybody agrees upon, he is one tough guy, and he's supposed to be in there the next series.
All right, Ari.
I had a feeling anytime you see him rubbing it there, and anytime they're up rubbing that trap up on that shoulder, that trapezius muscle, you know you've had that stinger where that nerve has been shooting through the shoulder and down the arm, and that's exactly what happened when Darling landed on him, pulled him to the ground.
McCown to throw to Bolden. Bolden, can he hang on? Yes, he does, and that's a big first down for Arizona. Let's head to Los Angeles and check in with Jeannie Zalasko.
Not to change or not to change. Carson Palmer doing his part to quiet the quarterback controversy with the longest touchdown play for Cincinnati this season. Matt Schobel with a 76-yard reception. It is the Bengals all over the Cowboys, 16-3.
Well, you like to score, but the Bengals need a uniform makeover.
Yeah, look at the North right there. Pittsburgh is 6-1. Looks like they're having a pretty good time. As you see, they're 24-3 over Philadelphia. 2 minutes left to go in the third.
13 yards on that pickup to Bolden. They come back inside, and Bolden getting hot here in the second half. That's close to another first down. Had 4 catches for 50 yards last week against Buffalo. That led the team in his first game back. Now he's showing up here in the second half.
And they feel pretty good on this matchup as he's coming out of the outside on the slant there on Reggie Howard. You see that little combination route? Got the guy in the slot going outside. He comes inside on the slant, which created a little cushion between he and Howard, and McCown found it.
Emmitt Smith, good job up top by the Dolphins defense. That's Brian Robinson, the former Chicago Bear.
Defensive tackles are playing a lot better today than they did last week. And Brian Robinson's playing well. Jeff Scadina's playing well. Those guys on the interior. And they know. I mean, they know anytime you play against Emmitt, you better be stiff on the inside and you better be ready for the cutback.
Yep.
Because Emmitt is going to the Hall of Fame a lot on his cutback run. So you see those defensive linemen really staying home backside and sitting in there and waiting for Emmitt to cut to their hole.
3rd down and 1. Play action rollout. He should just take it himself. He does. And that's a good decision and a good first down for the Arizona Cardinals.
Boy, and they got Jason Taylor big time on this because Emmett's going to end up slipping. But watch Taylor fly in, which is going to open it for McCown to blow it outside.
Illegal formation on the offensive team. There was no eligible player on the end of the line.
Hold on, we've got a flag.
Up on the end. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
They didn't throw a flag, but they called an illegal formation.
So L.J. Shelton was lined up too far in the backfield? Is that what the play is? He wasn't on the line of scrimmage?
That's right.
Well, you know, as the rule goes, here's L.J. Shelton. His head just needs to be in line with the center with his waist. Now, it's hard to tell from that angle. Boy, but he looks on the line of scrimmage from there. That's a tough call. That was a big penalty.
Yeah, that's a drive changer, maybe a game changer for Arizona. Go back to 3rd and 6 instead of 3rd and 1. This probably won't get it done. It doesn't. In fact, it's not even a completion intended for Obafemi Ayambadejo, and it's knocked out, and that'll bring on the punting unit for Arizona.
Well, now you know why Denny Green said last week that we got to clean things up and we got to play smarter, and had 14 penalties last week, and they've been all over the place with penalties again here today. Up near 6, 7, 8
fumbled
fumbles.
Backward out of bounds. Bring it back to the spot where it went out of bounds. 4th down.
6, 7, 8 penalties already for this football team. Way too many for Denny Green. They're not playing smart like he told us they had to.
For the second week in a row. Too many penalties, too many mental errors. And that is nothing new to Arizona Cardinal fans. They've seen this before. Hey, there goes another penalty. Welker will take this at the 15. Avoids one. Won't avoid. Darling gets out of bounds. Darling, a part of the new theory of getting more starters on your special teams. Let's see what the flag is back upfield. Darling doing a good job of holding off Ray Thompson, who's been the perennial starter here at outside linebacker, and Darling shows up in the offseason here.
Offense number 37 was lined up offside. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
Adrian Mays, and that's the kid they just brought up this week to play special teams. And he never even...
Yeah.
And here he is right here. You can see the line of scrimmage. He didn't draw a very good line there. Line of scrimmage, and he's right up there in the neutral zone. That's
yeah, he kind of looks like he's offside
just
from there.
A little bit.
Mays, as you said, Tim, just activated off the practice squad. Now checking with the official to make sure he's okay.
Well, he never even played. He played at Louisiana State, never even played offense or defense. Purely a special teams guy. And that's why Denny activated him this week, coming off the heels of that brutal performance last week by Arizona in the special teams department.
Player with a boomer. Look at this. Welker all the way back to the 10. He gets a block. That's another clip. They'll get that one. Welker doesn't know it, so he keeps on chugging. He's out to the 24, 25-yard line. 57 yards on the punt. And thank goodness Scott Player's leg is warm today.
And I just don't get it. I really don't. And what these guys are doing with the blocks in the back. And that's just not heads-up play, and that's Jeremiah Bell right there.
Illegal block in the back during the return, number 37. Half the distance to the goal.
Not even close.
1st down, Miami.
It's not even close. When the guy passes you, you let him go. You don't hit him in the back. That's not smart.
The beginning of the Simpsons' epic 16th season with an all-new Treehouse of Horror episode. That's tonight, 8/7 Central, only on Fox. Did he eat his kneecap there?
It's the best show on television.
Feely back in at quarterback as they hand off to Sammy Morris. Let's go down to the sidelines and check in again with Ari Wolf.
Okay, Ron, here's the story with Jay Fiedler. He is still hopeful to be able to come into the game, but the shoulder's still bothering him too much. If you guys have a camera on him, he seems to be in a bit of pain on the sidelines. He's hoping to come back in, but for the time being, it'll be A.J. Feely. All right, guys.
Feely brought in this year on a trade with the Philadelphia Eagles.
And really
second-round pick.
Yeah, and really struggled from day one when he got here, but everybody on the team say he's gotten better and better every week, and they think the future here.
Pick up a 5 on the last play. That's incomplete, intended for the tight end McMichael. Let's head out to Los Angeles again and check in with Jeannie Zalaska.
Well, the Redskins offense downright offensive in the first half, so they got to get creative in the second. Clinton Portis back to pass. Yes, Portis to Lavernius Coles. 15-yard strike does the damage. 10-3 Washington.
All right, Jeannie, thank you very much. As you look at the NFC standings there.
That 7-0 for Philadelphia, I think that may be going somewhere today because Pittsburgh's taking care of it.
And Pittsburgh
up 24-3 there at the start of the 4th.
Dallas about to drop one if they're not careful. Feely, a strike across the middle to Chambers, and Chambers is still rolling. So clearly, Tim, you can't say that the Miami Dolphins don't have weapons on the perimeter.
No, you can't. And Chambers comes just on a slant route. Looks like Ronaldo Hill has got him in coverage right here. And watch him get inside of Ronaldo Hill and then watch the strike from Feely. You just can't throw it any better. And that's what they say AJ Feely can do is he can get the ball to the guys quicker. He's got a much bigger arm than Jay Fiedler, and he recognized that. He opened on the slant route and found Booker for a nice pickup.
7 catches for 98 yards for Chambers. Morris. When you look at Feely, and the talk around town is, okay, what is Jay Feely? We haven't seen A.J. Feely. We haven't seen enough of him to know what kind of player he is. What's your take on it?
He's got a lot of upside, and I think just as you saw there on that hookup to Chambers, that he's starting to get a better feel for the offense. He's got all the intangibles. He's got everything that you look for. But one thing that he doesn't have is experience. And if you think about it, he only started 8 games at the University of Oregon and only 5 games in the NFL. I mean, that's 13 big-time starts. That's all he's got.
And that's a big-time interception. Dwayne Starks takes it to the house. No flags, and Arizona may have gotten the big break they need, just as we're trying to say something good about A.J. Feely.
And again, I was talking about experience, and that's exactly what it is, because he is not on the same page with Chris Chambers out here.
That's a tip ball. Yeah, you can see that one's tipped out, but you know what? I don't think it mattered.
I don't either.
Because Dwayne Starks is right there.
Starks read it the whole way. As Chambers goes out, Starks comes inside. The ball was tipped. Oh, that's a huge play for Arizona.
41 yards on the interception return for a touchdown by Dwayne Starks, who's battled injuries the whole year here. Dislocated his shoulder against the New Orleans Saints earlier in the year. Has traded off time with Ronaldo Hill, and that is a big play. Raptors adds another one, so the Cardinals come within 2 here with 3:18 in the third quarter, thanks to turnovers and then making the turnovers turn into points.
Feely, 100 years of football wouldn't help this, because Pepe Zellner, the left defensive end, bats that ball down. You see right there, he gets a big arm on the football. That thing's wobbling up in the air, and then Starks, who's playing the out route the whole way, in perfect position to pick that thing off. Now it's off to the races for a touchdown. But Feely, really, I mean, you can't fault him for that. It was just a great play by Pepe Zellner, getting his arm up and giving his defensive back Starks a chance to get one.
Starks from Miami, went to Miami Beach High School, then went to Miami, University of Miami. And for the Dolphins, that's the 5th interception return for a touchdown this year between the 2 quarterbacks. A horrendous stat. And Feely knows it. And I stick to what I said, even though that ball was tipped. I'm looking at Starks sitting right there in front of the out.
Starks read it the whole way. Now, he did read Feely's eyes and was sitting underneath and ready for that out route. But no question, once that ball changed trajectory when it got hit, gave Starks the great opportunity to pick it off.
We saw Jason Taylor walking over to Jay Feely. Hey, man, can you go? We need you. So,
you know, realistically, big picture, this may be maybe make the transition easier from Fiedler to Feely when you really think about it.
And this could make Feely feel a lot better. You put the ball on the ground and try to run it. As Morris gets a couple. Next week, America's #1 pregame show returns to the studio in L.A. And they'll set up the key NFC North battle between the Vikings and Packers as Brett Favre tries to lead the Pack back on top. Plus, find out who goes 10 yards with TV. It all starts at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox. 2nd and 1. Excellent play by Russell Davis, the defensive tackle. We've seen a couple plays from him today.
Yeah, he's playing well. He really is. And you remember the old tilt. Here he is at the tilt nose guard going sideways. Denny Green always ran that up in Minnesota. You get that guy cockeyed on the center and allows him to really split that double team a lot. That's what he did there, and went and got himself a nice tackle for loss.
You see the tacklers today, the leaders, Dwayne Starks.
Hey, and let me tell you, when your nose guard's up on that list, he's doing a pretty good job sifting through the traffic.
They won't stop this third. Short ball is loose. And that could have been another big break for the Arizona Cardinals. Damian McIntosh, the left tackle, hustles down and recovers the fumble.
Now, as well as this defensive line has played today for Arizona, and most of the day they have, there's some pretty good movement on Davis. And then I want you to watch the effort from Pepe Zellner and what he does on this play. Gets pushed out on the block. Now, he's just jogging after the play. Look at, I mean, there's no sense of urgency at all. If he's going 100 miles an hour, he recovers that fumble.
12 men in the huddle.
Macklin pulls that thing
on
loose.
The offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And that's a lingering penalty on the Miami Dolphins. 12 men in the huddle. You can't do that anymore. They get them for it, and so they'll move back. That brought into the NFL rule book.
You used to have to deal with that. Remember back in the day?
Yeah, as a reaction to teams that used to send multiple personnel groupings on the field to try to confuse the opposing defensive coordinator and make them late with their substitutions. You can never have more than 11 in any huddle. And that's incomplete, very lackluster looking, intended for Marty Booker, and the Boo Birds come out.
I don't think they know what they want here in Miami, because 2 weeks ago when Jay Fiedler got announced at the start of the game, the fans were booing him here. So, and want Feely. Now Feely gets a shot. He's been in 4 plays, and they're booing him already. And that ball just slipped out of his hand. You see him wiping his hand off on his rear end right there? That ball slipped out of his hand, clearly.
His first start this year with Cincinnati. He went 21 of 39 for 218 and a touchdown, so he can put the ball up and generate numbers, but off to a rough start so far.
Needs to find his tight end is what he needs to do.
It's complete, and there it is. McMichael, and McMichael is close to a first down. And you just said it, Tim Ryan. He shot that one right in front of a Cardinal defender that looked to have a pretty good beat on him.
And watch the angle route from Randy McMichael over here. He's just going to head to the sideline that way. And that's why I said Feely's got to get it to him, get some confidence going. And clearly this play was designed to go to McMichael, who's having a heck of a year, but a real slow ball game today. They haven't gotten 81 the football enough.
Second leading tight end in the NFL in terms of receptions. His first catch today. Back on the ground with Morris. And McMichael last week against the Jets, 7 catches for 87 yards plus the big touchdown. And he was fired up about it. This is his contract year. He's in his 3rd year.
Well, look at those numbers versus Tony Gonzalez, who everybody's got as the top of the heap in terms of tight ends. Ronnie, he's the kind of guy that and Dave Wanstead said it, he's not the fastest guy. He runs a 4.8, 4.8, 5.40. He's not going to kill the stopwatches, but he understands defenses. He understands how to read coverages, find the holes in the zones, and is a good runner after the catch.
And there's a run right into the wall. Adrian Wilson, another guy who's facing a contract situation, has a contract, but playing so well, the team is talking about redoing it. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter. We're going to line it up for the 4th. It should be exciting. Miami by 2. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station. Ron Pitts, Tim Ryan back here in Miami as we start the 4th quarter in a very tight ball game.
And I can tell you why it's tight is because the defensive touchdown by Dwayne Starks, because you can see there that the numbers, the contrast in numbers, not even close in terms of total yards, 306 to 145, but it's a 2-point game because Arizona scored on defense. 3rd
down and 16. They bring the corner blitz. Oh, and he gets hit right in the face from number 58, Carlos Dansby, the rookie out of Auburn, a 2nd-round pick.
Well, and again, here's the lack of inexperience from A.J. Feely, because obviously it's an overload blitz coming from that side. He's got his head looking this direction the whole way. He never sees it, never diagnoses it at all, and gets hit right in the mouth. That is a knockout shot. You see where his head is? Where his eyes are. He never sees it until they're up under his chin strap.
He might have to get a chin job after that one. Matt Turk kicking very well today. Another skyrocket and a great bounce. Can they get on it? I don't think so. Nope, the officials are saying it is a touchback. 57 yards for the 12th-year man out of Wisconsin Whitewater. Let's go back to that hit and the sack.
Dansby's got so much speed, and I just want you to watch the head of A.J. Feely and watch where he's looking. He's looking this way the whole time.
On the goal line, therefore it's a touchback.
Now he peels back and gets ear hold. Again, the inexperience of a guy that's had 18 big-time football starts, 8 in college football, 5 in the NFL, and Dansby right there, who comes from a big program and knows how to play backer, to me has raised the level of this defense big time. He's brought a whole new element of speed to the Arizona Cardinals on defense.
He is starting, obviously, made LeVar Woods sit down, as did James Darling, make Ray Thompson sit down on the other side. So new blood flowing already this year for Dennis Green in his first year as head coach. Emmitt Smith trying to close in on that 59 yards he needed at the beginning of the game to go over 18,000 career rushing.
There's been nothing for Emmitt Smith, really nothing for anybody offensively with the exception of the one long run, I believe the 61-yarder by Troy Hambrick. And Dave Wanstead, to me, is a defensive guy and has to be somewhat enthused with the way his defense has played today, because they have gotten after it. Not a lot of yards given up to that Arizona offense.
10 carries for 18 yards for Emmitt Smith. They bring the pressure, they pick it up. The throw, no place to go. And a flag goes down, a late flag, and that one will go against Sam Madison.
You can hear Sam Madison yelling he was out of the pocket. Doesn't matter if he's out of the pocket or not. When that ball's in the air, if you're grabbing the receiver, it's DPI.
Number 29, spot foul, automatic first down.
Now, a legal contact obviously applies when the quarterback is in the pocket. When he's out of the pocket, now it's about defensive pass interference. And you see the tug on the back of the jersey? He could be out of the pocket over on the sidelines. You tug somebody like that when the ball's in the air, easy call for the referee or for the official back on the back end.
New point of emphasis.
And Sam knows that. Sam knows that. He's just trying.
They are not going to allow any contact whatsoever past the 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, and that one is sniffed out immediately. Jason Taylor standing right there, waiting for that one.
Hey, they retired his number at Akron the other night, right? Maybe they should retire his number just for the day here today, because he's playing his fanning off. Watch him get upfield. He doesn't even sell to the stuff away. All that action away, he doesn't go for it. Keeps his shoulders straight, parallel to the line of scrimmage, gets upfield and gets a huge tackle for loss.
And as you said, Jason Taylor had his number retired. He got on the plane Friday afternoon, was there at the ceremony, came back late Friday night. Second down and 17. Pressure, the throw, that one's going to Larry Fitzgerald. What an adjustment on the ball. When that ball left McCown's hand, I didn't think that Fitzgerald had a chance to get to it.
Boy, you're not kidding. You talk about a bailout throw. Watch Dario Romero right here get good pressure up inside. McCown just got to get rid of this thing. And this is a bailout throw off his back foot, putting it up in the air. And watch the adjustment from number 11, Larry Fitzgerald. Watch him turn back inside now and locate that ball when the defender fell down.
Patrick Surtain trying to stay with him.
He's so calm when he gets out there. That's the thing. He plays like a guy that's been in this league for a long time.
32 yards. Emmitt looking for the corner. He's had a rough go of it for most of the day. Another update. Let's head to Los Angeles for Jeannie Zelasco.
Well, my partner Terrell Davis will tell you offense gets all the love, but defense getting the ball in Detroit. Blocked punt. Taylor Jacobs with the effort. Walt Harris with the scoop and the touchdown. The Redskins up 17-3.
Now there's an old ball coach up there that's closing in on one, maybe.
He's been
Joe
struggling
Gibbs.
too. Joe Gibbs, I don't think anticipated his football team being where they're at this year. That defense really, really playing good under Greg Williams. Of course, lost the job up in Buffalo. Now the DC defensive coordinator for the Redskins.
Second down and 8. The throw. Incomplete, intended, intercepted. Yes. Sammy Knight intended for Anquan Bolden, and Sammy Knight is heading back to the 40. Brought down just beyond the 40-yard line. A flag is back, way back upfield at the 46. That's in the area of the Arizona Cardinal backfield.
Are you kidding me?
Personal foul. Roughing the quarterback with a launch with the helmet. The helmet. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, Larry Nimmers was mad about that.
Oh, man. And you're going to take away a play here that could be one of the better plays you've seen all year in pro football. Now, that's a terrible call. That is a terrible call on Surtain. And I want to watch what it takes away from here. A great play. Watch Howard go up, knock this thing down, and then kick it with his foot. Kick it up in the air. It gets intercepted by Sammy Knight. That is a brutal, brutal call from Larry Nimmers.
Oh, and then McCown just gets jacked by Zach Thomas. He's got to learn an interception, unless it's a touchdown saver, get out of the way.
Now, if you want to go helmet to helmet on Zach Thomas right there, that's fine, if that's what you want to call. And maybe Larry's got it screwed up. Maybe he does.
We have unsportsmanlike conduct on number 99 in the defense for kicking the football when the official's trying to pick up.
Boy,
and they add 15 more yards.
Wow.
To the end of the penalty. First down.
And Jason Taylor is hot.
I'd be hot too, Ronnie. I may have kicked the football too.
So a ton of yards lost on the transition for the Miami Dolphins between the interception and the return, and then the 15 yards added on and the penalty for the hit.
Wow, it's brutal. They got to get something figured out on these helmet-to-helmet hits on the quarterback. I understand it's a quarterback-driven game and you want to protect your guys, but that right there is a garbage call. I'm sorry.
Looked like a great play by Reggie Howard.
It was a great play. Not only a great play getting the ball out, but then being lucky enough to kick it up in the air where Sammy Knight could go get it. You just, again, I understand the fact that you want to protect the quarterbacks. They sell the tickets. It's the offense. But when you're a defender and you're working your tail off to get to the quarterback all day long, and you make a big play on defense, and you've been waiting to make big plays all year, and it gets called back on something like that. That's discouraging.
Tim, that's a 65-yard turnaround. The two 15-yarders for 30 and 35 they lost on the interception return by Sammy Knight. And that's Emmitt Smith. But it started off with the hit on McCown in the pocket by Jason Taylor.
Well, it's Patrick Surtain who comes off the edge, Ron. Watch 23 come the backside.
Yeah.
There's the call right there.
Yeah.
That's the helmet-to-helmet hit on the quarterback. That's 2 weeks in a row McCown has gotten some charity calls on hits to the helmet.
Right.
I'm a little flared up as a defensive lineman.
I see you. You're starting to swell up here. Second down and 8. He'll go to Emmitt again. Cutback hasn't been there all day long. Another nice play by the Miami defense. That's David Bowens coming down the line. A pickup of 3. And they are getting pressure on the young quarterback.
They've been in his grill all day long. And his numbers are translating that way. His numbers are brutal.
And Arizona now in the red zone in October, the month of October, they were 100% score. 4 trips in and 4 touchdowns. 3rd and 5. They'll throw in the end zone. Nice catch. It'll be a first down. It should be. Let's wait and see. Complete to Brian Johnson.
Yeah, that's going to be a first.
Yes, it is. First and goal.
That's smart
for
play
the Cardinals.
by McCown. Smart play, knowing where the sticks are and getting it to your guy, Brian Johnson, in front of the first down marker.
And a great catch. You could hear it up here.
Yeah, you could. That wasn't easy. That thing had some heat on it.
So with 9:55 and counting here in the 4th, the Dolphins lead only by 2. They'll hand it to Emmitt. Emmitt's got a gash. Touchdown! Cardinals. So give thanks to Dwayne Starks, who intercepted the ball and took it back for the touchdown to pull Arizona within 2. They re-sparked them, and now with a nice drive with the help of the officials, they go on top.
Watch him catch Jason Taylor coming inside. Scadina goes here. Jason Taylor runs himself right out of the play, and Emmitt punches it in for the easy score. Watch 99.
Yep. See him come around right out of the play. Leonard Davis rides him by. That's too easy for Emmitt Smith and his vision. He'll see that every time. It's an easy touchdown. 6th rushing touchdown of the season for Emmitt Smith. Rackers adds another one. So the Arizona Cardinals have fought back, and they take the lead.
Right.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. By Campbell's Chucky Soup. With big chunks of meat and veggies, it fills you up right. By FedEx Kinko's, your one stop for copying, printing, and shipping. And by Michelob Ultra. Lose the carbs, not the taste. So a 65-yard swing with the help of a bunch of penalties that most of which we did not agree on. And Arizona is able to get a 5-yard touchdown run by Emmitt Smith. Jason Taylor was hot. He got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And Patrick Surtain, he was the guy who was popped for the illegal hit on the quarterback.
Yeah, roughing the passer, helmet-to-helmet hit on the quarterback. Or should we say helmet-to-helmet tap on the quarterback?
Gilmore with a big head of steam, and Gilmore is out across the 30-yard line. A flag is down. That has to be offsides against the Cardinals.
Offside on the kicking team, number 54. We'll add 5 yards to the end of the run. First down, Miami.
So the Dolphins tack it on, play the field position game, and Dennis Green saying the same old deal.
Somebody else.
17-12, Arizona, 9:38 here in the fourth quarter. The Miami Dolphins jumped out to a 12-3 lead. And with the help of a big play by Dwayne Starks, a 41-yard interception return for a touchdown, that has sparked the comeback. Complete to Marty Booker, and Booker throws the ball in the air as he's out of bounds and close to a first down.
And if you're wondering why A.J. Feely's in there, if you're just joining us, Jay Fiedler knocked out of the game about 3 series ago with a neck stinger. And James Darling came down on him on a blitz, and Fiedler hasn't been back. Feely's been out there now trying to get it done.
The flag goes down as they hand it off to Travis Minor. And Tim, these are the type of games, this is the type of game, I should say, that for Dave Wanstead, who is definitely on the hot seat, a loss here could pull the drain plug.
Offside, defense number 27. 5-yard penalty. The penalty will result in the first down.
That is David Macklin, who's having a rough couple weeks. And the two names that have been thrown out there for a coaching position here is Lou Saban or Nick Saban, excuse me, and Steve Spurrier.
Yeah, I think they'd be foolish to try to retread Steve Spurrier in the National Football League. We saw what happened up in Washington. We know the Floridians love him, but there's a knack and a tact to coaching pro football, and clearly he didn't have it. And you see Darnell Dockett on that last play. He is so good for a rookie.
Going deep, caught. Booker had more than a step on Ronaldo Hill.
Well, and they've got 3 deep, and what happens here in the 3 deep coverage, you got Booker who's going to take off outside. Ronaldo Hill thinks he's got some help inside, but Olete's late coming over the top, and what a perfect throw from A.J. Feely. What a beautiful throw. Watch the safety here. He's the key. As he shifts this way, it's going to open up this whole side of the field for Booker. See, now he's late getting over the top because he shifted to the middle of the field. Feely takes advantage with a perfect pass.
Minor doesn't get much. Adrian Wilson, who's living in that box, that front 7 box, makes a lot of tackles.
We talked about Marty Booker, Ronnie, having to put up some better numbers on the other side of Chris Chambers, and today he's gotten some opportunities, and every time they've thrown to him, for the most part, he's made the play, and that's what they look for. And when Chambers is getting all that rolled up coverage, that double coverage, and doing different stuff to him, that's when you need guys on the backside to come up with big plays.
Pickup of 2, second down and 8. They go again to Booker, and he can't hold on.
That's tough on a young quarterback right there now. Get down in the red zone, and you run that little stop route, and he just throws a laser, and it hits Booker right in the chest. Remember I talked about him being a hands catcher? This time he doesn't do it. This time he lets it hit him in the chest, and it bounces off. Even if that's coming right at you, the good ones go up and use their hands to get it.
Booker traded from Chicago in August for a 3rd-round pick in next year's draft, and also in exchange for Adewale Ogunleye, the big-time pass rusher here, who was very disgruntled.
Heck, I think that 3rd-rounder may be gone. I think they gave it up for Lamar Gordon when they got him down from the round.
You're right. And that one's knocked away. Ray Thompson, the backup linebacker.
See, when you only rush 4 down in the red zone, you're going to drop 7, and everybody's covered up. They play that umbrella coverage. That's what defenses do. And they just kind of cover it up, cover all the angles, cover all the holes. You man guys, and then you've got also some guys that are in zone in terms of your safeties, and just cover up all those windows. There's nowhere for A.J. Feely to go with the football.
Bill Gramatica trying to pull the Dolphins within 28 yards. and he does. So thank goodness for waiver wires and kickers that stay in shape. They stay close. 7:53 here in the fourth.
Today's game on Fox is brought to you by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Josh McCown is going to have to be good in an area of the game that he has not been good at this year, the second half.
Well, and you look at that 49 rating, I mean, that's a big F, right? No matter which scale you're putting it on. And he hasn't been good in second halves. And he told us when we were talking with him yesterday, that's an area where he's really tried to focus his concentration. Now, being up 2 here, he's going to have to come out and make some plays.
That one will go into the end zone for a touchback for the Arizona Cardinals.
And most importantly, not just make some plays, but don't make any mistakes. That's the most important thing right now for the young quarterback.
Arizona by 2. Today's game is being seen around the world on Armed Forces Television. We want to send our best wishes to the men and women of the 1st Battalion 228th Aviation Regiment stationed at Soto Cano Air Base in Honduras. Thank you all very much.
Well, here's now, we're up 2 points with still a lot of time left in the fourth quarter, but here's where you want to use that offensive line and you want to be able to run the football. You give your quarterback an opportunity now when McCown's not going to be stuck in 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10.
And that means running the football could be key earlier. There it is, Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt, as he tries to spin out of it, hasn't been able to get much today. Let's go down to the sideline and check in with Ari Wolf.
All right, Ronnie. Well, last time the Dolphins were out on offense, Jason Taylor, who I think felt somewhat responsible for the points Arizona got on their last drive. First, he was counseled by Randy McMichael, who calmed him down a little bit. And then Jason Taylor just sat on the bench away from all of his teammates, and you could just see the look of intensity on his face as Jason now back out there trying to make a play to get Miami back ahead. All right, guys, back to you.
Thank you, Ari. They're going to need Jason to play and play well. They're going to have success. Emmitt Smith is close to the first down.
And with the exception of that penalty, he has really had a good football game today. He's been all over the quarterback, getting hits, getting sacks. There's one of his sacks right here, getting big tackles for loss, as you see here on the end around. And he said it. And talking to him on Friday, he said, we need to go out and we need to play for the Junior Seau's. We need to play for these guys, the Larry Chesters, the Tim Bones, the guys that were out here with us that have given their bodies up, put their bodies on the line, and they've lost those guys. So we got to come play for these guys and play for pride. And I think most importantly, get out there and have some fun. Still a game, play some football.
A big 3rd down and 1. Throw. Oh, nearly intercepted. Intended for Ian Badejo. Patrick Surtain got the break of life, but he couldn't hold on.
Well, and Surtain has this the whole way. You're going to see Surtain right here. He's not going to go with Larry Fitzgerald. He's going to come up underneath and try to undercut this to Ian Badejo, and should have had that in for the touchdown.
I think Ian Badejo just got a hand on it, but that's the kind of stuff that just scares the daylights out of Dennis Green when he throws the ball.
That's a high-risk play when you're up 2 points on a 3rd and 1. Wow.
Scott Clair, who's got a very healthy average today, will punt away again. He's been busy. Welker should have some room. There it is. Welker, he's got 10 already. He's out to the Dolphins' 46-yard line. 46-yard punt, 21-yard return tonight on Fox. It's Premier Sunday. We'll start with the King of the Hill Showdown, the biggest Malcolm ever in the all-new Simpsons Treehouse. You know about that. Arrested Development, that's coming up. The Emmy winner for Best Comedy and Series premiere of My Big Fat Obnoxious Boss. Fox season premiere Sunday starts tonight at 7 Central, 6 o'clock Central as well.
Tell you what, we're going to find out about this kid right now in A.J. Feely.
Minor.
And if they're going to continue, as we've seen all day long, to deploy that single coverage over there on Chris Chambers, and we've seen quite a bit of that today, and I've been surprised. Feely's got to pick these guys apart and get it down the football field. Most important, though, as we've seen with this team all year long, and they gave up 30 sacks coming into this ball game. That offensive line can protect, and they've been somewhat hit or miss today. Either one of these quarterbacks can make plays.
Pick up a 2 to Minor. That throw looked like that may have been tipped again coming out. And unfortunately for A.J. Feely, he's thrown right into the fire.
I think it was Zellner that got it again. Pepe Zellner got that one earlier where he knocked it down, in which Starks picked it off and took it in for the touchdown. Let's see who gets their hand up and gets this one. 94 right there. You see the arm go up. Sure enough,
got a thumb on it.
His left thumb. That's that basketball frame, right? That 6'5", long arms. Use it to your benefit.
3rd down and 8. Plenty of time. No place to throw. Another back down. That one looked like Russell Davis. The Boo Birds out again. Another punting situation for the Dolphins. And I was saying Feely thrown into a nasty situation.
You know what, though? It's not like, and here's Davis that gets the block. It's not like Feely's Doug Flutie back there at 5'9", trying to just not be tall enough and get it over the guys. He's a big, tall, 6'3", 6'4" guy, can see down the field. It's just a good job by Russell Davis, by Pepe Zellner, those guys, and making him throw through the picket fence. And sometimes you get lucky, man, and he throws right into one of those wood stakes. And that's what he's done there on the last 2 plays.
Turk. He's had some luck downing inside of the 5-yard line, and there's another one. Great coverage by the special teams, Jimmy Wyrick. Next week, it's another Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. It all starts with the Bucks and the Falcons, and then the Seahawks will take on the Rams, the Vikings, bumping heads with the Packers, and the Giants battle these Cardinals. Coverage starts at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox. And you are watching Fox Sports broadcasting in 720p and Dolby 5.1. Tim Ryan, that is all about high definition.
It's all about clarity, baby. That's what it's all about.
HD. And nothing, it's not clear there about that downing of the punt. 2-yard line, that's where the ball rests. As the crowd gets into it here for the first time today. Emmett, he may have gotten one. The Arizona Cardinals sporting a 17-game road losing streak. They're trying to end that, and that man there is trying to get his 100th career win as a head coach.
And I'll tell you one thing, Denny Green's not going to just stand pat and continue to lose. We've already seen him make significant changes up and down this football team from the start of training camp, heck, all the way until just last week. Guys got to make plays and produce, or you're going to get changed and moved out.
And that's movement on the outside. Looks like the tight end, Eric Edwards. Picking the wrong time
start,
to get
offense,
antsy.
number 83. Half the distance to the goal. Still 2nd down.
Wait, I don't know. Is he in a 4-point here and then just lifts his left hand up? Watch what he does here with the left arm and then pulls the right arm up. Oh, he just fell forward. Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
We'd like to welcome those of you watching the Pittsburgh Philadelphia game, and you can see once again Ben Roethlisberger whooped up on Cardinals in trouble here. They're going to just try to run it out and get some room for a punt. Now look at the NFC East. The Eagles will get their first loss of the year, but they're still okay, even though the Giants are starting to go.
Yeah, how big is that game now for the Giants this afternoon with Chicago coming to town? It's everything, as they can pick up ground on the Philadelphia Eagles, who were flying high big time until they ran into that buzzsaw at Heinz Field.
3rd down and 8. They'll throw to Bolden, and it's overthrown. Tight coverage by Sam Madison, and that'll bring on the punting unit for the Cardinals.
Well, and this is what he wanted. He wanted Bolden in man coverage, and he gets it on Sam Madison. Just a little takeoff route. Gets down the sidelines. I think the sun was in his face. I don't think he could see that thing. It was too high anyway.
So Wes Welker, who's had a couple nice punt returns today, will be back deep to receive the kick, but more importantly, Scott Clair has got a problem.
Well, down two, you don't try to block this. You work for the return here. Don't even risk getting a hit on Clair. Work for the return, get your field position.
He's got to get that ball out of there, and he squibbed it. It's a bad bounce. Miami should stay away from it. They do, and they'll have great field position. We'd like to welcome those of you watching the Dallas-Cincinnati game and another trap game in Cincinnati. Dallas goes up there and gets beat. And this one has been an interesting game. A lot of penalties, mistakes on both sides. Rob Conrad started it off for the Dolphins, along with a field goal by Gramatica. They went up early, 12-3, and then Dwayne Starks intercepts this ball, takes it back 41 yards for the touchdown. That closed the gap. Emmitt Smith scores from 5 yards out, and the Cardinals went up by 2. Miami has some momentum.
Well, that interception by Starks that came back to the touchdown was on the first series that A.J. Feely was in the football game, and the reason he is in is Jay Fiedler took a big hit early from James Darling on a blitz and went out with a neck stinger. And you can tell there that Miami defensively has really come to play versus what you saw on Monday night against the Jets. They've given up really one big run today. That was to Troy Hambrick early. And besides that, Dave Wanstead has got a good effort out of the defensive side of the ball.
Feely 4 of 12 for 81 yards and 1 interception for a touchdown. Morris along with Minor. Minor has been the workhorse here today, a guy that not too many people expected would do anything. He's got 11 carries for 90 yards and 8.2 yard per carry average as we look at Jay Fiedler still nursing that neck.
He definitely is nursing that neck and thought he could come back, and got the report initially that he would be back in the football game, but I'm telling you, those stingers, I've had plenty of them. They'll sneak up on you.
You see Buffalo beating up on the New York Jets. Always play a team after they've had a Monday night. Complete. Booker. Is it a touchdown? The ball is loose. He's down at the 1. They are marking him down at the 1. We may have to check this.
Well, the clock now, if you're smart.
Ruled down by contact at the 1 yard line.
Let's watch Booker's knees as that ball crosses the plane. Looks from that angle.
Looks as though his knee is down.
You can't tell where the football is.
And Booker is still down. Watch his knee. Oh, yeah. I think that's definitely a tackle before the ball comes out. But you make a great point, Tim. Stop the clock.
Because review goes up to the booth under 2 minutes.
After 2 minutes.
No, he's down. That's a good call.
That
That's
doesn't
a good
matter.
call. And they're watching it up on the Jumbotron. I guarantee it. They think it's a touchdown. It's not. A.J. Feely thinks it's a touchdown. Dave Wanstead down on the sideline. They're looking at the Jumbotron. It's not a touchdown. And again, now it's outside of 2 minutes, 2:08. They can throw the red flag and challenges if they want. I don't know if Dave will do that. I don't think he will.
Well, no. Both timeouts are supreme for each team here coming down the stretch in a tight game. And it's where the knee is, or where the ball is when the knee touches.
Well, how about the throw from A.J. Feely? That is just beautiful. Catches him in between the linebacker and the corner, and now Booker's sniffing the end zone. Yeah, he's down.
I don't think that the ball had crossed the plane before the knee, or when the knee had hit, and Booker is being helped off the field.
Something with that right leg, Ron.
Booker went to the Pro Bowl back in Chicago. In the 2002 season, he had 97 catches for over 1,100 yards. Spent his first 5 years in Chicago. Made more catches in the first 5 years than any receiver in team history, and that includes some good ones like Mike Ditka and Willie Galton, Harlan Hill.
He got his right leg up trapped under Adrian Wilson is what happened.
Okay, so they are winding the clock. It will go down to the 2-minute warning. So the Cardinals fought back. They're up by 2, but the Dolphins have fought back as well. They're knocking at the door. and this is the reason that A.J. Feely is in the game. James Darling jumped on the back of Jay Fiedler, and we believe it's some sort of pinched nerve.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You see how that's a dead arm, that left arm. That's a sure giveaway that you got the stinger in the neck.
Feely, A.J. Feely, looking for his second career fourth quarter comeback. The last time he had a comeback was 2001 versus Tampa Bay when he was in Philadelphia. Morris makes it look easy, and the Dolphins go up here under 2 minutes in the fourth quarter.
And they're going to go for 2, I imagine.
Marty Booker given the high sign as he's carried off the field on a cart. And the Dolphins look to be having a little bit of trouble right now to decide whether they want 1 or 2.
They're going to go for 2. You got an injury on the field. It looks like Damian McIntosh or Gino James,
the left guard, the free agent from Carolina. He's shaken up.
Well, and that's right who they win over, too, is Gino James, the left guard. Here's where the ball goes, right up there behind the left side. Morris is just going to go over the top.
And you know what happened is Morris landed on him. James was on the ground when Morris landed on him.
Look at the push on the double team. You're exactly right, Ronnie. Good pickup. He did. He landed right on him. You see that? Gino James is back here.
Injury to number 78 for Miami requires Miami to take a timeout in the last 2 minutes.
Bam, there it is, right on the back of the knee on the calf.
Now this is interesting. Because of the injury under 2 minutes, Miami is forced to take a timeout to avoid being hit.
You have to unless
by
it's a
the
change of
10-second
possession.
right.
It used to be it was always a penalty or a charge timeout. But now on change of possession, which is a scrimmage kick, a punt or something like that where you won't get the charge timeout, here it's still within the rules that you do.
So they'll line it up and they'll go for 2.
Got to find 81 again. I'm telling you, 81, Randy McMichael is the guy.
And they have not had success this year in 2-point conversions. They do now. Randy McMichael.
The extra point is good for 2 points.
Well, you knew this was coming. I mean, I knew it was coming up here in the booth. And here is 81 right there. He has been so good down in the red zone. And watch him just find the little hole back there. Olete's trying to pick him up. He's got him all turned around, and Randy McMichael just catches a perfect strike from Feely. Another very good throw from A.J. Feely. With the exception of the batted down balls, Feely has done a good job coming in here for Jay Fiedler.
And as we said at the top of the show, Randy McMichael, who was drafted in the 4th round in 2002, he has come up to be a very big receiver here for the Miami Dolphins. Had a big day on Monday night.
Nice
7
kid,
catches.
Too. Nice guy. Talking to him, and what did he tell you that Wannstedt said that this is your 3rd year, man? This is the year when guys make their move in the NFL.
He stayed behind when everybody went home for the break right before training camp. He ran routes on air to get better. Don't forget tonight on Fox, season premiere Sunday, King of the Hill, Malcolm, The Simpsons, Arrested Development, and the Emmy Award winner, My Big Fat Obnoxious Boss. Tonight, 7, 6 Central. So we know what time it is for the Cardinals. Larry Kroom, he gave up the opening return and a fumble. He gets this one out close to the 30-yard line, and there's a look at some of the turnover action, and more importantly, Tim, the points off turnover for Arizona.
That's right, and you look at him there, and I'll tell you the total yards, and this has been a disparaging game if you're Arizona offensively, because, and I'm sure a lot of fans out there saw what happened to this Miami defense on Monday night to the Jets. They were railroaded. It was ugly, and they have really responded defensively and played well and given everything they've got to Arizona offensively. Not a lot of room in there from McCown.
McCown checks left, throws back to Larry Fitzgerald, who has been open all day. And Fitzgerald goes down. Patrick Surtain.
There's a flag.
He tackles him, but the flag jumps out immediately. Arizona has all 3 timeouts left. And this is the part of the game where Josh McCown has been very, very unsettled.
You know, I wonder if they're going to call Fitzgerald for just throwing it out of bounds. I wonder if that's what they're going to call here. You can't do that. Let's see. Because clearly he's going to get tackled inbounds. Should have never tried to make that juke inside. Surtain's going to get him inbounds.
You know, that's going to be hard to prove.
Because that didn't look intentional,
no.
did it? Obviously, the line judge looks like he felt it was. And they've got a conference going on down on the white stripe.
Josh McCown has 2 career fourth-quarter comebacks. The last one was in the big win against Seattle at home.
Dave doesn't want this. Dave wants the clock to keep going.
Well, out of bounds. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
Why decline it? If the clock stopped anyway, why not move him back 5?
Yeah. So they do hit Fitzgerald for throwing the ball out of bounds. And it didn't look like he did it intentionally.
Hey, Lion 27.
They'd rather have it 2nd and 8 instead of 1st and 15. That's why they declined it.
And the clock goes 1:36 and counting. They bring pressure. They pick it up. No, they don't. Zach Thomas with the initial hit.
Zach's going to come on the blitz. Here he is right here. Gets good push from everybody else, and then watch what 54 does. Emmett tries to block him. No chance. Goes right around him. And see Emmett step up. Grab the jersey just like a defensive lineman. Grab cloth, little arm over.
He's got to feel that and get it out of his hand.
Well, that's the youth of the quarterback again, Ronnie.
Can't hold that ball.
We've been seeing that all day long from number 12, Josh McCown.
We just talked about the comebacks. 23-17 Miami. 131 here in the 4th. 3rd down. This one is up for grabs. And is it intercepted? No. Will Poole, the rookie out of USC, can't hold on. That could have ended the game.
Jason Taylor again bringing good pressure on McCown, and Jason Taylor's had a terrific game today. McCown's going to try to leak out to the left, but Taylor gets upfield, and he just got to let it go. And lucky that Will Poole couldn't get a better break on that and lay out and grab it.
Oh. 4th and 8. Go time for the Cardinals.
And I guarantee you, Denny is talking upstairs with the lack of pass protection today by that offensive line.
McCown in trouble. Run for it. He does. Where will they mark it? He's got it.
Bound and determined. You've got to appreciate that out of a young quarterback, because he was putting his head down and picking up that 1st down.
He had no choice.
And he's got some wheels now. You see him take off. He's going to break contain. Now he sees a lot of open real estate. Watch him put his head down on right there on Will Poole. It looked like Surtain.
Yeah, Surtain is coming.
He just puts his head down. He's getting that 1st down. He's got to be commended for that.
So a pickup of 9 and a loose set of downs. Ball at the Arizona 41.
Start working those edges. No, you don't want to go to the middle of the field.
It's complete to Bryant Johnson, but that will mean that they'll have to burn a timeout. They have 2 left.
Timeout, Arizona. Their first team timeout.
And if you just checked in, the Dolphins jumped out to a 12-3 lead. Rob Conrad, 20-yard touchdown catch. Then the Arizona Cardinals got back into it. Dwayne Starks scored on this 41-yard interception. Emmitt Smith, after a nice drive and a lot of stuff as far as penalties, he puts the Cardinals up. And Sammy Morris, most of you just saw that. He went from 1 yard over. And in the middle of all of it, A.J. Feely steps in for Jay Fiedler, who went out with an injury. So here we are with 107 in the 4th. Miami up 23-17. Both teams have 2 timeouts.
And I think Feely's done a heck of a job since he's been in there, really. And we talked about his lack of experience. He threw the interception that came back for a touchdown. That was on a deflected ball. Had 3 or 4 balls deflected, but made up for it with some big plays, firing it down the seams.
Cardinals trying to avoid losing 18 in a row on the road. Going to Fitzgerald. He's got a step. Larry Fitzgerald has it. He's down at the 2. Josh McCown steps, stands, and delivers. The clock is still running. Denny Green, as you can see, screaming for a timeout. What a play, Tim Ryan.
Well, and Denny can call a timeout, too, so they need to look at him. Now, that's a new rule. The coach can call it. What a throw from McCown to Larry Fitzgerald.
Timeout.
You just see his size advantage once he got to the third level of the defense. Watch him. He's just going to run a post.
Seconds on the game clock.
He's going to run that skinny post now, and you see the side. Look at him extend that gap from him to Surtain. Edwards is late coming over. Just a beautiful throw from Josh McCown.
Did you see how wide those safeties were? He had no shot for help inside.
Well, that's
48 yards.
That's where you hit that cover too, right? Right down the middle of the field.
Larry Fitzgerald did not catch a pass last week in that 38-14 loss to the Buffalo Bills. Very disgruntled. He let it be known several times on the field. But he gets his love here. And it couldn't come at a better time for the Cardinals as they talk it over with Alex Wood, the offensive coordinator. The longest pass play of the season for the Arizona Cardinals.
And why did it happen? What allowed it to happen? They protected up front.
Yeah, no pressure
for Josh McCown.
As you can see, the Arizona Cardinals have never beaten the Miami Dolphins. The two teams got into a fight at the beginning of the game.
They're going to spread them out and run at it.
There it is, Tim, and they were waiting on it. Jeff Skanina, the long-time veteran of 12 years, smacks it in the face. And that fight we were talking about from earlier today.
Their third and final timeout.
And the Arizona Cardinals said, hey, the Miami Dolphins don't respect us or our organization. That's what the players told us in the meeting the other day.
Those who get respect, give respect. I think there's a little bit of both of that going on the football field. When you got a 1-7 team and you got a 2-5 team, I think guys are frustrated. And I'm telling you, Arizona wants this one bad. It's been, what, 17 in a row away from home that they've lost?
And you know what's interesting? You have a lot of players from the state of Florida on both sides of the football.
Oh, this is bragging rights now.
Oh,
this
yeah.
Bragging rights for these guys.
As we said, Dennis Green needs only one more win to reach 100 for his coaching career.
Arizona's out of timeout, so you can see there. It's about taking shots now at the end zone with your quarterback. Out of timeouts with 35 seconds left. You want to get the ball in the air.
No timeouts left. Fitzgerald goes up top. Anquan Bolden is in the slot. Check that. He's on the outside. And Johnson goes in the slot on the other side. Second and goal.
That's the fade right there.
Looking for Bolden. He's double covered. Nearly intercepted. Do not go there. Reggie Howard was all over it. Along with Sammy Knight.
See how they got him bracketed right here? You got 2 for 1. And they're going to clamp on him right away.
Oh, boy.
Lucky that was a poorly thrown ball. That thing's picked off and the game's over.
And he looks the whole way.
Got his eyes there the whole time.
You made a point earlier, Tim, when Josh McCown learns to look off the defenders, he'll have a lot more success.
You got to find your one-on-one matchup, and you got to hit it. And they got Bolden covered up again with 2 guys out there.
And I believe he just checked it off. Fitzgerald backside. He may have single coverage. The pressure, the sack. Jason Taylor.
There's no timeouts, Ronnie. They got to get on the line of scrimmage.
It's 4th down. It's 4th down.
Why is the clock stopped?
Wait a minute. Has there been a penalty? Yes.
Holding defense number 29. That's half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Holding against the Miami Dolphins. That is Sam Madison, the star corner. What a break.
Here he is over here on Bolden. Bolden's playing decoy here.
On the game clock, please.
And you saw back here, you saw him throw the flag.
23 seconds.
Right when you see that cloth get pulled away from the jersey, they're going to call it on Sam Madison. Completely away from the play.
The flag came very late in the back of the end zone. So it's first and goal, but no timeouts, 23 seconds left. Going to Fitzgerald, touchdown Cardinal. And we've seen him do that all year long. He outjumps Reggie Howard.
Oh, that's the old Michael Irvin push-off right there. He's just too big. He's just too big for Reggie Howard. So I talked about throwing that fade earlier to Larry Fitzgerald. Watch his little subtle push-off. You couldn't see it there, but he definitely pushed off on Reggie Howard and came back and got the football.
But you know, Tim, it's
see
not,
that? You see the right hand? That's all. That's all it takes.
But that's something that you're going to see in this league when you play up here as a corner. And that's not hard. You find the third string corner or the third nickel corner, you bring him in, and you find the man-to-man coverage as Rackers adds another one, and the Cardinals go up by 1. He made the mistake of going toward Antoine Bolden when he was doubled the play earlier.
How critical is that hold on Sam Madison? My goodness. And that's just the size advantage of Larry Fitzgerald, just going up and getting it. And McCown. Wow. Yeah, that's right. Thank your lucky stars above, man, because and you got the exact contrast in terms of the reaction with Dave Wannstedt over there on the sideline. Kind of puts it all into perspective for Dave Wannstedt, how this season has gone. And I tell you, it's been the tale of two teams. You got the 1-7 team over here where everybody's looking for changes and looking for things to go south, and you got Arizona on the other side at 2-5, and people are excited.
Have not won a road game since October 6th against the Carolina Panthers. A span of 756 days. And this was that game.
I did this
Jake
game.
Plummer.
I was at this game. We called it on Fox.
That's tight end Freddie Jones.
And then here's Bill Gramatica,
who we see today.
Who we see today for Miami, who kicked it through for the game winner.
So with no timeouts, 19 seconds on the clock, Arizona, with a young, inexperienced quarterback, throws up a lot and gets a score. Wes Welker will take it at the 4. Welker hit hard. He's down to the 24-yard line. Tonight on Fox, it's Fox Season Premiere Sunday with King of the Hill, the biggest Malcolm ever, the all-new Simpsons Treehouse horror, Arrested Development, the Emmy winner for Best Comedy, and the series premiere of My Big Fat Obnoxious Boss. That's all tonight, 7, 6 Central on Fox. And don't worry about that now, because we've got a lot going on here. 14 seconds left, Miami down by 1 point. Beasley, the hook and ladder play. The clock is running. Chambers didn't get out of bounds. They'll have to call a timeout with 4 seconds left.
The old hook and ladder, you got to love this.
Timeout, Miami.
You know, I never know where the ladder came from. I always thought it was lateral, but
the hook and lateral.
Yeah. But everyone says hook and ladder.
You got to work the ladder. You keep working the ladder all the way back.
All right. They worked it out to the 38-yard line, 37-yard line, and the speculation, as we mentioned earlier, is big for Dave Wannstedt not being here.
You know what?
After this game,
Listen,
but it is speculation.
I completely disagree with that, and I'll tell you, if Dave is let go at the end of the season and everybody's talking like he's going to be, this isn't a one-year fix down here in Miami. I'm telling you, when you look at this personnel, you look at this football team from top to bottom, it's not a one-year fix. There's too many needs all over the football field.
Very well, the last play of the game, last chance for the Dolphins. Beasley just throws it up, and look at that. That's a duck. And that will be the end of the game. And Denny Green gets his 100th career victory as a head coach. And the Cardinals snap the 17-game road losing streak after over 700 days. We'll be back in Miami to wrap up today's action right after these messages.